Frame 83 coming hot at you on a wonderful Thursday afternoon. We got our awesome guest, Austin, joining us. Before we get into the great topics we have, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, all that jazz. If you want to be a guest on Gutterball, email us, DM us, just get DML us. Just get at us. I mean, come on, email us.
DMLS,
DML us. Get at us, all right? If you want to be on Gutterball, look how cool Austin looks over there. He's fucking awesome because he's on Gutterball and you're not. I can't even defend the viewers anymore, Paul. I feel like I have to do something drastic here at some point. Do I have to hurt myself to prove to you that I just want you to come on? Because I get fucked every week. And no messages. I check. I refresh every fucking hour. I'm like, oh, today's the day. Today's the day. And then I get fucked. So I don't even say.
I'm gonna do
How's
it.
anyone doing? Don't make me do it. Yeah, but that's all I got to say. Fuck the viewers. I'm just kidding. I love y'all. Appreciate you watching. But what's up, boys? What's new? What's popping? What's cracking?
Doing good. Austin, thank you so much for joining us. It's gonna be a good show here. Welcome to Gutterball. It just shits and giggles, good old fun podcast. Nothing too serious. Nothing too. It's not even funny either. This fucking show sucks. No, I'm just kidding.
I haven't enjoyed a second.
Yeah. You're already having a bad time.
Every guest experience.
Yeah, they're terrible. That's why they don't come back. That's why we have very few recurring guests. Yeah.
Yeah. No, come back.
But yeah, again, thanks, Austin, for coming on. I'm doing good, Jack. It's been a pretty normal week for me. How have you been?
Good. More same old. Just grinding out days at work, staying consistent to my diet and gym. But that's about it, pretty chill. I mean, someone's not, but I am, at least. What's up with you, Austin? Introduce yourself. Break down. What are you about? Let the people know. Let the folks know.
I'm Austin. I've known Paul since a very long time. We haven't talked too much in a few years, but we kind of reconnected recently. And what I'm about, I guess, work-wise, I started as a cook, moved on to serving. Now I'm bartending. I kind of really like the restaurant industry. Want to get my own one day, but yeah, I'm just trying to learn the ropes of everything. That's about it. It's got some cool bar stories if you ever need them.
Oh, we'll go into that. Don't worry. We're going to ask you for some of those.
Oh, yeah. But first, we should probably get started on Song of the Week.
Whoa. For those that are new to the cast, we always do a recurrent segment of Song of the Week, something that's been resonating with us within that week. And maybe it's just a song we like the vibes to, or maybe it's a song that, I don't know, makes us sad about our bitch we don't have anymore. It's whatever, I'm going to go right into my Song of the Week. So my Song of the Week is Peaky Blinders by Shakewell and German Shakewell. So this song came out about a couple months ago off the Garden Tomb tape, maybe is what it is. I don't know. But this song is really interesting to me because I found it today, actually. But so German Shakewell played this song live unreleased in 2021 for Grey Day. And I remember hearing it specifically because in part of the hook, Germ goes, "Who the fuck is at my window?" And I heard that live and I'm like, this song's awesome. So for an entire 2 years, I was searching. I'm like, where the fuck is this song? And they finally released it. And today I just randomly scrolling and I found it. And I was blown away. I was so happy. I was like, oh my God, I found it's the song. I was doing that Leonardo DiCaprio on Once Upon a Time. It's that. So I was really happy. I mean, 2 years went by before they released a song, which is crazy. And I had this happen to me with City Morgue too. They played Neck Brace. You know that song? 1, 2, 3. It goes break. Yo, fucking neck. Yeah. They played that in 2019. That song didn't come out till 2020. And I remember searching for that. So I love when artists do unreleased songs. And you're fucking kind of feels like a flex. I heard that song a year before that shit even came out. So by the way, check that one out. Really good. German Shakewell blend very well together, in my opinion.
Hell yeah. I'll need to check that song out. So yeah, my song of the week. So as listeners probably know, I kind of go through genre phases where I'll listen to rap for a while, get bored of it, and then I'll be into metal again, and then I'll be into EDM or something. I don't like listening to just different, I don't know. That's just how my brain and how my vibe works with music. And lately it was EDM, and just techno stuff with no lyrics, just kind of beats. But I kind of got back into rap again. I've just been playing my rap playlist, and one song I kind of forgot about, which is it's called Slapbox by Boobie Ludovelli, and I just really like the flow in that song.
That's one of his first songs, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a I don't know. It might be older compared to some of his other stuff, but that song just has hard hitting bass. Yeah.
2 years.
It's hard hitting bass. It's really fast flow. It's steady pace. So I really like that song. it doesn't really why I don't really have much to say that it resonates with me. I just really like the flow and stuff like that, and that's kind of what I got. Austin, do you have a song of the week by chance you'd like to share with everybody?
Yeah, now that I think about it, it's an older song that I just kind of rediscovered this week. It maybe be like 8 to 10 years old. It's called Again and Again by The Bird and the Bee.
Okay.
And
Is it
it's
like
just
a
kind of like
rap or
a
what is it?
no, it's a very melodic like singing, but it kind of picks up into a pop during the verses, but the chorus is very melodic and just rhythmic, and it kind of is psychedelic at the same time. I don't know, but
Like a feel
it
good
hits
song?
right. It's like, yeah, some I don't really smoke, but I feel like some people want to smoke to it.
Yeah, okay, I gotcha.
I'm gonna listen to that after the cast. So check that out. Yeah, we're all on about the psychedelic rap, anything like that, or not even rap, just psychedelic music. You know, our boy Goldface. Hey, that's a little sneak peek for you. Goldface might be showing up here pretty soon in a little bit. Just saying. I don't mean
We're a
to,
bunch
you
of
know,
deadheads, is what you're
we're a
saying?
bunch of
Yeah.
deadheads. Yeah, we are.
No.
Do you guys know about
No.
the Booby Lavelli like controversy? Like you haven't seen him doing much music, right? Recently, or
No, I
really touring
haven't.
at
What
all?
happened?
I really only listened to his album with Fat Nick.
Yeah, that's a good album. Yeah, I like him and his Puya stuff, but well, part of it is I think Puya, Puya does this thing where he kind of finds new rappers. Like he found the Suicide Boys, in my opinion, really gave them their start. Fat Nick too, they kind of piggybacked each other. But now Puya's kind of taking his turn with South Strip, this rap like trio,
Oh
which is
yeah.
pretty good. So I think they kind of put Booby to the side. But Booby's main producer, who he's friends with, Will Snow, impersonated Puya like on a fake, like it pretended to know Puya. So you'd pretty much go like this. Will Snow would message you, who produced like all of Booby's music, and you'd be like, "Oh, I'm working with Puya. Send me $3,000 and Puya will write a verse for you." Puya had no idea about it, right? So this guy Will Snow's going around scamming, and part of my mind is why you don't see Booby is he lost his main producer, and he's kind of can't be trusted since he worked with Will Snow, and Will Snow like scammed a shit ton of people. So you never see anything from Will Snow. He did Pesos, like all the Puya stuff was produced by Will Snow.
Yeah,
So I
remember
just
that
thought it was
name.
kind of interested. That kind of like in my mind last week, I was thinking about it. I'm like, I wonder if that's why you don't hear from him, because he had that shitty friend that scammed and no one trusts him, maybe. But you
Or
really don't see
yeah,
him doing
maybe he's
music.
just having a hard time, finding
But
someone that will produce his stuff.
at the
I
same time, a
was
lot of those rappers that get money, they're like, "Oh, I got the money. Well, I'm dipping out for 2-3 years. I'm gonna go spend my money."
was that really early on then?
No, this was honestly probably like 2 years ago. This
Okay,
was maybe a
because
year after Pesos came out, but I remember hearing about it on Instagram. Like Puya was talking about it.
I don't listen to a whole lot of Puya anymore, but I
Mhm.
do remember Mikey the Magician being like their main producer.
Yeah, no, he definitely does a lot of their shit, but so it's later on they kind of got away from Mikey, and started using Will Snow and stuff because Mikey the Magician's rapping now, and it's
Yeah.
Oh, really? I want to check that out
It's
then.
I saw it
it's
live. I saw him live. He's
yeah,
pretty
I
bad.
saw it live too.
Yeah.
It's
Probably why
okay.
I want to check it out.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
beats are there, but he produced some of the best like beats. I mean, like that 5
Oh
5
yeah.
is pretty much all of him. Like that
Oh
shit's
yeah.
awesome, but I don't know, just don't rap, dude. It's because when Tara Reid does it, it works. When Getter raps, it's cool, but not when you rap. You can't rap. Change your name or do something different. But
Dude, there's just
anyway.
something I just love Tara Reid's old school beats. Like his rap
Mhm.
is so sick with his flow.
Seeing him live cemented him as I think one of the best rappers like around that I've seen live. Didn't no backtrack, and you could obviously tell he was singing because he'd leave out lyrics and the music wouldn't be there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Versus all the other artists are like, I gotta have a backtrack to go along. Puya did a little bit, but not totally. But yeah,
I
how
remember with Tara.
embarrassing! Like, can it be when you're playing Outlaws with Puya and Puya has his backtracking, but Tara has his turned off? How embarrassing are you? Like, you gotta be
Yeah.
so embarrassed. I'm sorry, Puya. This is fucking embarrassing, but yeah.
I remember when I first heard Tara Reid, I kind of thought sounded like old school Eminem.
Right.
Yeah, a little
Totally
bit.
does.
It
Yeah.
totally does. It's got that vibe. And one thing that bums me out is I bought a Tara Reid shirt, but it's way too big for me now. Like it's huge, dude. Did you get the white shirt too?
Oh yeah, mine's double XL, but I like baggy shit.
I think mine
This
is
isn't
too.
from the concert though. It's just I already have Terror on deck. It's the
Oh,
fucking
I
give me
have a
my
different
Adderall
one.
back, bitch. It's like yeah, this is from his drop. I want my Adderall back, bitch. Tell your dad I want my Adderall back, dude. This thing's like double XL. I look like a fucking like I'm wearing a parachute when I walk around with
Yeah.
this thing. But I like it. It's good.
I love that. I love
Yeah.
just super baggy clothes.
Oh,
One of
I'm
my
all
favorites
about
is
it.
like a triple XL that I got at
Yeah.
Savers, and it says maintenance operator.
Oh, I love that. So sick. There's my dad. I like stupid brands that you wouldn't expect on. Like I saw like a Colgate like button up. It had like Colgate embroidered on the side. Like I would wear that. Just like
Sick,
ironic.
yeah.
Yeah. But my dad has a property management of St. Louis County hat in the garage, and I might ask him if I can have it. It's like gray, and I'm like, I don't even work there, but it's just fucking funny to me.
Yeah.
Property management of St. Louis County jail. But no, I like that type of shit. Maybe that's like some weird, I don't know, hippie stuff that I'm into.
Just see if Dad's got any of his old gray tuck-in shirts that say "Fi" on it.
Oh, really? I didn't know he had those.
Yeah,
I've never seen him wear those once.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna check his closet. I'm gonna
Like
actually ask. I bet he
coveralls.
give me one. Yeah, no, it's a flex. I want Fi on my stuff.
Oh yeah.
One of my favorite sweatshirts I got recently that I just found at some thrift shop in the cities was just a bright orange sweatshirt that just says sci-fi fantasy. And I love it so much because it doesn't mean anything.
Right.
It's like having a shirt that says rock music.
Yeah, it's so broad. Yeah.
And I fucking love it. Like that's what all I want to wear is now.
No, that's sick.
Yeah, before the show, Austin and I were talking about how much we both like hoodies and just have like a hoodie problem. And so like as you know, we're getting to move. We're donating clothes, I'm donating a bunch of baseball caps I don't wear anymore, even though I was collecting them for a while. And she was gonna donate. I'll show you the 3 I'm gonna donate.
I'm the charity. Donate to me.
Okay. Anyways, when we went to Arizona, I got this sweater, the Sedona sweater, and she got a tortilla flat. I wore it a few shows ago. It's like a grayish or not. It's like a brownish orange hoodie that just says tortilla flat on it with a cactus. She was gonna donate it because she never wore it. I'm like, no. Hoodies, no, we're not donating any hoodies here. I'll take that. And honestly, it's like been my favorite hoodie lately because it's just like, it's baggy, it's thick. Like I want to wear my Trevor Moore local sex pot hoodie more, but I can't wear that to work. I look like a fucking shithead. Like
I feel that a lot of the time. I have a lot of really inappropriate hoodies.
Yeah.
I have a lot of bad shit.
Like,
speaking of like random phrase, this one kind of has it. Just says American Doom Machine on the front without play. I really like it. Yeah. But no, I can't wear half the shit I own to work because it probably says fuck on it somewhere or something or some type of I wore this the other day and this pushed it a little bit. No one said anything because I wore it for like maybe an hour while I was working, but I shouldn't have done that. That was bad. This thing is just and on the back it says we creep, we crawl, and I'm like, yeah, no, it's just a bunch of fucking, I don't know,
organs,
cut up body parts and shit. Yeah. People are like, what are you wearing? I'm like, don't worry about it. I'm doing my job. Fuck off.
I'll get a no one. Don't worry. I don't need to explain.
I wore the Sam Hyde shooter tee to work. No one said anything about that. It's just him with the fucking gun on the front of it. I love doing that type of shit.
I had that. Remember, I had that X shirt that said "Don't kill your friends, kids" on the back, and it had it was the Mickey Mouse, but it had XXX's hair.
Oh yeah, that was cool. Do you still have that? It's a cool.
I
shirt.
don't know if I do. I think I might have donated it.
Some lucky kid got that.
Yeah.
Well, I was serving at a restaurant, and we had like a uniform that like we were supposed to wear black, and I just had a black shirt that just had like a little red X logo right here. So I was like, oh, okay, I threw it on. I get to work, and then like I go to the bathroom, and like as I'm leaving, I kind of see that there was a design on the back of my shirt, and it was just like an anime lady in bondage, and I was like, I forgot I own this shirt. I need to go home and change.
You're like, oh, this is the anime bondage one. Oh, now I remember. That's awful. Yeah. No, that's an awesome gift. That's great. You get better at it.
But I can't wear it at work.
No.
Yeah. I think it would have been funny just like fuck it.
To be fair, at that job, they only I was like the only dude, and they only hired like 20-year-old blonde ladies.
Yeah.
So I'm sure the customers would have been happy after they looked at my dumbass mail.
Yeah.
When I turn
this
around,
was
they
a
got
Japanese
something
restaurant.
real sexy.
It's Japanese.
Wasn't it a Japanese restaurant? The place you're talking about?
No, it was not.
Oh,
I would have been fine there.
Wood Fire Bar and Grill.
Oh, okay. That would have been really funny if when you're working at the sushi place and you fucking turn around and you have that on.
He's got the tie on my back.
Yeah, just
like, dude, this is legit.
Yeah, okay, this food's probably really good here. The dude's talking to his buddy.
He may be white, but damn, he could probably make some sushi.
Yeah, he's bold enough to wear that. Oh, that's foul. What's up with hentai and censoring the cock? Do you ever wonder that? You'd be like, why do they have to blur that out? There's no mystery there. You know what's
Isn't it
happening.
some weird porno laws?
It's some
I
law.
think it
Yeah,
is.
that's why they do tentacles. Tentacles are fine. All about the tentacles. As soon as you have a cock, it's out, bro.
I
don't
never
know.
put that together and why they went to tentacles because
Yeah,
they can't
right?
have the actual.
Yeah, that's so weird to me.
Yeah,
Now
cool.
he's got some weird tentacle fetish weirdos.
Yeah,
you
what
know?
if
I
it was
wonder if
just-
that's like
What if instead of
cause.
that? What if instead of that it was elephant trunks or something just completely vile?
oh, that would be even worse.
That's
yeah.
probably
no, what if
allowed.
that's psyop?
It's an alternate reality.
Yeah.
I think
Is
it's
it
a
alternate
Japan
timeline?
psyop or something. Like they're
Yeah.
trying to control the masses, get them into fucking. That's why no one fucks there. I guess they're all into the tentacles. They can't get hard. It does some slimy. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this.
Also,
but I
none of
always
them
wonder
can
that.
afford houses.
No, they can't. They live in those fucking cafes, like a what is it, like a 5x5 little box. Yeah,
yeah.
internet, and you're good to go. I swear to God, that's how they all live.
Yeah, those you can in
Capsule
Japan you
hotels.
can get those like pod hotels or whatever.
Mhm.
And
Oh,
like
did you-
they're
I
like
would be down.
yeah, I would
You know how much
yeah.
For
you know
a
how much
night,
flight-
I would stay in a pod.
Yeah. You know how much
yeah.
a round trip to Japan is right now? $500 because of the tsunami. Real cheap.
Yo.
Delta, literally $500. I don't have a passport. I was literally like
I
telling
do
my
have a
friends, I'm like,
passport.
I was
I
like,
have a
shit.
passport.
I'll pay for half of y'all's tickets. You just want to go to Japan for like a week or two. I was just like, we'll get a capsule hotel. We'll rent it for what? I don't know what they use yen. It's like 1 yen a night. That's equivalent to like $1.60 here. It's like not worth shit.
That is
It-
ass backwards.
It's maybe it is. It's totally
No,
is.
I think it's like
I
a
mean, it's
million
like a
yens a dollar.
yeah,
or
million.
something.
You're right. It is totally ass backward. $1 million yen, $1.60. Dude, that's steal right there. We'd stay there. I just stay there. You know. I feel like I don't know. I wonder how they react. You ever think you're gonna go there and they're gonna like react like they react to black people where they start touching you and shit? Because they do that. You know. They're like,
What the-
they do-
oh,
They do like
oh,
I'm pretty sure they do like white boys or white
you tall
Americans.
you tall American. Oh, you know they do
Yeah.
that.
And they're gonna
Blue eye.
come
They
up-
never see.
they're
They
gonna
never
come
see
like-
blue eyes.
They're gonna be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, you looking for a lady boy? A real nine, real G tonight." Yeah, that's what they're gonna be doing.
I'm gonna go there, kiss a guy, get thrown in jail. That'd be pretty funny.
Jesus.
I'd make news, dude. I bet I'd make news.
Yeah, no,
Fucking Biden Trump has to
you-
pardon me.
You'll
to get
immediately
this bag out of
get you'll
jail.
immediately get hit by a cop with one of those blackjack things. You'll get knocked out and you'll wake up. You'll be like, "Oh," and you're just up to
black.
here. You're buried in the mud and they're stoning you. in the
Yeah,
fucking
Jesus
mud.
Christ. In the middle of fucking Tokyo Square or some shit.
Jerusalem 2000
Yeah,
years
what
ago. What the fuck?
Holy shit. I assume some people in like white vests are gonna grab me and take me away for a little while. I don't think I'm gonna get stoned to death.
They see you and they're like, yeah, we should bring back stoning.
Yeah, we should
Yeah.
just start stoning people. Holy
Yeah, I
shit.
just imagine when
Holy
Jackson
fuck.
like coming to, his hair's all dusty, his makeup's all messed up. He fucking the sun's super bright, and then it zooms out, and he's in the middle of Times Square, surrounded by people with fucking
You
rocks.
thought about this. You thought
They
about
skip
this.
the era
Paint a
where they use
development
samurai stores just straight back to stoning.
Straight back to stoning. Yeah, they skipped it. They're like, oh, fuck it. Don't care. That's fucked up. That is fucked up. But no, let's go Gutterball does Japan for a little bit, Paul. Let's go hit
Dude,
it up.
well, dude,
Yeah,
I have a
much.
passport. You get your passport. Let's go to Japan. Make a
I
weekend
know,
out
I
of
think it's
it.
going to be expensive.
A lot of us have
Yeah.
a lot of us have passports or
Right.
that find out we went to Norway just recently.
Yeah,
oh, right. Well, yeah, that makes sense. I wasn't invited, Ricky.
Oh
I'm just
my
kidding. No,
God.
I wouldn't. I'm just being a dick. No,
You
no,
just show
fucking-
up. I just happen to be going at the same time. Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird. I just invited myself. No, that'd be funny as fuck. I'm going 21, so I gotta go see if I can wait. Can felons get passports, or is that not a thing?
You're not a fucking felon.
I'll-
Shut the fuck
don't
up.
make-
I am. I am. I've done. I just lead the. Just let me lie to the guests for a little bit, and also make them think I'm straight
Hey,
too.
they
I'm
let,
gonna just fucking fuck with
They
them.
let Sean Strickland in Australia and now Canada for his title fight, and he's technically a convicted felon.
No,
yeah,
really.
but he's
Yeah.
a celebrity as well.
Yeah,
As we know, they get a little special
That's why I
privilege.
think it's bullshit.
Mhm.
Like, don't have laws if like you just are gonna, like just let other people slip through. I think it's a little bullshit.
Some
but
laws
I
are
get
just
it.
for the rich. Tickets are
Yeah.
just for
Yeah.
the rich.
Yeah,
I feel
that's
like
true.
it's the U.S. preventing you from leave, but I feel like at the discretion of the countries, they could be like, yeah, we're cool with felons, just as long as it's not like a bad felon, you know. There's a
Well, I
drug
think
felon,
Australia
then
doesn't
there's
allow
killed
felons.
people felons. Maybe they don't.
Australia
Maybe
was
they
only felon. Australia was only felons for a minute though.
It was, yeah, it was
Yeah,
based on
right.
felons.
don't. Oh yeah, right.
I think that's
You're
how
right.
a country
Ship
was
them over
built.
there.
Yeah.
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 What a
Wait
horrible
a
place to
second.
live. Yeah.
Well,
Well,
how-
wait a second. That's why they don't have any guns.
then they invented the bloomin' onion, and that's when things changed.
and they made Australian Outback.
Yeah, they made Outback
Australian Outback.
Steakhouse. That's how
And Outback,
Australia. Yeah.
Outback isn't that bad either, man. I get shit on for Outback. You go there, you get a steak and 2 sides for about $20. You're good to go, dog. Or $25. I get ripped on horrendously, so I got to make sure I'm defending Outback here. We're a pro Outback podcast. Sponsor us, actually.
I never said anything bad about them.
Oh, not you guys. Oh, I can already see people commenting about it. It's everyone else that has a problem with it.
Jackson, how's your diet been going? How's fitness?
My diet has been great, Paul. It's been fantastic. No, I've just been eating not enough is my problem, so there's no way I can gain weight. I can eat candy all day if I want. I broke down and so I'm a big fan of candy, and these, in my opinion, are the best candy. They're the Cadbury mini eggs. They're essentially the Cadbury version of the M&Ms. And I almost ate this entire thing yesterday. There's this much left, so
Christ,
I'm not going to be eating any more of this.
Hold on, how many of those is a serving? Did that say 160 calories?
9 is the serving, and it's 160 calories.
Jesus
so
Christ!
I don't know, what did I eat? But
1,000 calories
yesterday. Nah, no, it couldn't have been that much. I eat other stuff.
I still has part of the bag left.
Yeah, I still have the bag, Paul. Don't worry about it. I don't know how many servings.
All right.
How many servings are there? There's 8 servings in the bag.
So you just said you ate 60. So 60.
No, that's rough estimate. I don't know how many it could have been. I don't count. I just start eating,
Yeah, I
don't even
who counts when they can?
Yeah, who counts? But I've been eating a lot of protein stuff. Other than that, I've been at least getting like 100 grams of protein in. Still eating the protein yogurts. Back on the eggs, spinach, and some peppers in that. About 5 eggs every day. Just ate that before I got on the cast. So diet's really good. Working out is really good. I had to cut that back because I realized 7 days a week is terrible, and you shouldn't do that. Like, I wonder why I don't have any energy. It's like, oh, because you're working out an hour a day, cardio 7 days a week. Rein that back to 5. I'm not going to gain weight. Just want to get shredded for summer. And I already look pretty good. I took some pics the other night. Be looking fire. Of course, with proper lighting and whatnot.
Yeah,
that's the trick right there. Do some filters on that motherfucker. You'd be looking good. But yeah, no, it's pretty good. What'd you do, Paul? I heard you had a little upset.
Yeah, so my first fuck up on my cut 2 days ago. So I have a coworker, and he kind of like is going to be directly reporting under me, and he's been at our company for a year now. It was his year anniversary. So I decided to do something nice. I baked him cookies. Well, I decided to lick the spatula. I ate 2 of those fucking cookies, and the next day when I brought him in, I ate another 2 of the cookies. That is my first slip up. I hadn't had dessert in over 3 weeks at all. Like, basically no sugar. Everything I'm on is sugar free, whatever. So I felt so guilty. You want to know what pisses me off, dude? I weighed in at 140 pounds that morning before I baked the cookies. So I was already like, as you know, like, it would just go up a bit the next day. Like, I still didn't meet that 142 mark, because you know how that works, right, Jack? Like, you kind of fluctuate in weight, but you're not really 140. Yeah.
You can't gain 2 pounds in a night.
Well, I don't know, man. The next day after I ate all those cookies, I gained 6 pounds. I was like 146, and I'm just like, it's gonna probably just simmer back down though. Since then, today I was back on track. But I don't know, man. I was feeling really weak around lunchtime today, like before I ate, just because like I'm on a calorie deficit. It's a small lunch, or it's a small breakfast, small lunch, and a small dinner, and like within the last week or so, you know how like if you have a protein shake after working out, you attribute that to your macros and your calories and everything for the day, which is what you're supposed to do. I had just been straight up skipping a protein shake and instead just eating more food, but still hitting my macros because I was just feeling weaker, and that seemed to help. But now I'm realizing like I think I need to go back to having that, like half my meal be a protein shake. And I just hate having a light dinner, man. It fucking sucks. Like, it's the worst thing going to bed hungry. Honestly, it's terrible. And that's why I've been trying to incorporate a lot more fiber rich foods in the evening, like raspberries and blackberries, because more fiberful foods tend to fill you up more. As far as that though, I'm looking really good. I have a visible 4-pack now, but that coin purse of fat, just that little guy down here, he's still there.
Mine's at the bottom, man. I hate it.
So now, and they're very hard to do in my opinion. I just did them for the first time today, actually. I'm going to be doing it twice a week, as I'm incorporating leg lifts. So 3 sets of 10 reps of leg lifts, and then increasing 1 or 2 each week. And then also, have you ever done cable ab crunches with a cable machine?
What are those you pull down?
Dude, they're really hard to master the form on. Like, I mean, it was just my first day doing it, but you basically, you know how there's many attachments to a cable machine? You know that one with like the 2 ropes you can
You
grab?
just pull down.
Yeah. So you adjust it, you get on your knees on the ground and you hold it right in front of your head and you just curl your abs, but it's really hard to not hinge at the hips as if you're doing a deadlift. So that's where I'm stuck, is like you really have to engage the core, but then you don't want your head to hit the floor. You want your forearms to. And, I've only done it one day now. Tomorrow is when I'm doing it twice a week, and it just happens to be Thursday, Friday. But I'm hoping that's supposed to really activate your lower core, and hopefully I can burn that last bit of fat, because I'm trying to get a 6-pack, a visible 6-pack. I'm almost there.
Really?
I'm pretty close.
I got the 2. And the rest of it's still, I got the dick root at least, so the V's coming in sharp. So it'd be looking nice. I gotta get on with some machines, man, because I'm doing heavy calisthenics with shadow boxing about 8 rounds every day. And then light cardio. But you can only do so much with Russian twists and bicycle kicks and planks. And I mean, dude, I can do a 10-minute plank. I can do one right now. Maybe I should do a cast or just do a plank for like 30 minutes.
It stops engaging your core after like 3 minutes. Like I don't know if it's really.
That's what they say. No, I don't do it every day. All right. Fuck off. All right. I'm stronger than you, and I always will be. Don't doubt my workouts.
Yeah, I don't do many bicycles, but I do a lot of oblique Russian twists. I love those with a weight or a medicine ball.
Weight.
Yeah. I've been doing it with a 10-pound weight because I just find that my form is just better that way. If I do a 20-pound, I start to get like my legs start to move a little bit, and that's what you don't want. You don't want your legs flopping back and forth, because you want your core and your legs to stay completely straight.
You can move your legs.
There's one where you can like the kick forward, right? Each rotation.
Yeah,
I've done that too.
When I was in boxing, we did a couples. We did the regular Russian twist where your legs stay still, and we did the ones where you move your legs. But your legs were, when your feet touch or when your hands touch, that's when your feet touch that same side. Do that. That's pretty brutal too. But
so like opposite knee to opposite elbow,
basically. Like that. That's one too. Yeah, that's another one. Yeah. But no, I need to get some machine work done so I can finish out the abs here. That's what I need, I think. I think that's extra oomph. I just don't want to go to gym. I love my own little gym in the basement, in the crypt with the rats in the mind. I saw a rat run by and I'm doing fucking crunches. I'm like, whatever, I'm sure it's fine. But yeah, I just hate going to a gym and not be like, I want to go like that. I just want to scream in the gym. And you can't scream in Planet Fitness because apparently that's wrong. I don't understand that. It's a gym.
I'm low-key hoping they end up putting a Planet Fitness in Superior so it's closer, because I'm not going to drive all the way over there. But I've been looking into when I do move back up there, I think I'm going to do Jungle Boy because it's $50 a month, and that's for striking. And then I'm going to do Dringer because it's $100. So it's basically what I'm paying now, but I'll get an MMA gym and a boxing gym basically for the same price.
If you wanted to, I'm sure you want the MMA closer. You could do $150 a month, get the MMA and Jungle Boy wrapped in that. I
thought Jungle Boy doesn't do MMA anymore.
He does at his old location, the original OG Jungle Gyms. It's at up on Masaba Avenue. It's like a blue hut. It's just literally a blue hut, like windowless, really? Nothing there. Yeah, originally that Jungle Boy. Yeah, that's where I used to box originally. Then he swapped, and now that's an MMA one.
Huh, interesting. Because I thought the guy that owns Dringer bought the MMA side of things, and now that he rebranded it to Dringer Jiu-Jitsu, and that now he does it at his own look. I don't know.
Because I really don't keep up on the MMA.
Because you do know Zach Walters got a job at the jail. Like, he's a corrections officer now.
No shit.
Yeah, he works at where apparently Dad told me Jungle Boy is now a corrections officer there.
Are you thinking about the Haitian Temptation?
Yeah,
the Haitian that's what I'm fucking up. That's what I'm thinking of.
An insurance broker or something. Like, he ain't doing that shit.
Okay.
Yeah, or something like that.
Bam Bam ran Jungle Boy. Am I not mistaken? That was his boxer name.
I don't know if I know where Bam Bam is. I know Baco is one of them. I only remember is Baco, Zach Walters, and then a couple other dudes. Bam Bam. It's not Jesse Walters. I don't know who
he was old. He was
okay.
Old. He was like He was like maybe 70 when I started, and that was like 8 years ago.
Yeah, I think I started going like 5-6 years ago, so maybe he was gone. I really don't remember that.
He might have been. I only went for like 3 months because my friend went and was like, "Yo, dude, I'll just drive you after school and I'll drive you home." And I was like, "Okay, cool."
Oh,
And then he's
yeah.
like, "Okay, swim team started. I'm not doing boxing right now." And I'm like, "Well, how am I gonna get to boxing?" He's like, "I don't know, figure it out." So then I couldn't box anymore.
Yeah, I went there for about 2 years and then a year at the new location, and then COVID hit, and then I just kind of stopped. I got my own bag in the garage, and I'm like, I got form and everything, but I do want to go back eventually. But yeah, I do not know Bam Bam.
Maybe you'll go back when I move up.
Yeah, maybe I should, honestly.
You
or
should
just go
come
back
with Austin.
sooner. Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
I want to spar Paul so bad. Just
I work
don't know.
nights.
We
So,
can spar.
it's
I'll
hard.
spar you, but I need to buy. The only thing I need is
I
a
will
mouth
need to
guard.
train if I want to fucking
Yeah.
spar.
I
Instead
need
of
a
just getting
mouth
my
Yeah,
ass
that's why
guard.
you
beat.
fuck 'em up.
I need a mouth guard and headgear.
They have headgear. You're fine. Just get them out.
Yeah, they give you the equipment.
Yeah. You could buy some too if you want.
You just gotta get your own wraps.
I have my own
Yeah.
wraps. I have a bunch of gloves. I also
And
have
then
Muay Thai pads.
If you want to spar, you're gonna probably have to use his gloves or get your sparring gloves. But either way, we can do it. It'll be fun. I bet if we walked in there and be like, Zach, we want to spar, he'd be like, all right, say less, sign a waiver. Here's your waiver. You know.
But back onto the whole like diet thing, just so I can wrap it up. Like I know I fucked up. I'm very aware of that. I was literally doing the thing where I'm googling like how bad did I fuck up. Like I know I added like an extra 400 to 600 calories in, and I still am on track. I'm still down over 5 pounds. But here's my problem too: is I've really been wanting to cook. Like as I've been prepping all these meals and making good, healthy foods, I've been wanting to like venture off and make sugary and like really good things. So I think this weekend, to just kind of like scratch that itch, I'm going to make like PB2 peanut butter cookies, like protein cookies or something like that.
Cookies?
Like
Stony cookies.
I don't know. Like I think Jackson, like you have candy, so it's different, but I think on a cut, even you got to have some type of sweet at least once a week, or you're going to go fucking insane.
Well, like I said, this is the first sweet I had in a week besides these Quest like peanut butter things, but these have no fucking what do you call it? Sugar in it. So those are fine. But like I said, if you're on a consistent diet 7 days a week, one of those days you can eat a 10,000 calorie meal and you won't notice it. Trust me. Like, that's how that works. It just goes away. It just, the calories don't.
How many calories are those peanut butter cups? Because I've seen those in the store before.
They're 200 100 a piece, so it's 200 for 2 cups. That's really good. No sugar, 11 grams of protein. Fat's a little high at about 15 grams, but you want like fats, you know, like don't get scared about fats either. Fats are good for you. That's literally what keeps you alive. If you didn't have fats, you'd fucking die. 14% fiber, or 4 grams of fiber, excuse me. And they're really good. I like these better than the Quest protein cookies, that the peanut butter ones that they have down there, but
they already don't meet my rule.
What?
Under 200 calories, at least 20 grams of protein, and that's those cookies and cream Quest bars. I get those. Those taste good.
I guess if those work, yeah.
Those also have 50% of your daily intake of fiber, which will make you shit your pants. Just a heads up.
I thought the fiber did the opposite.
No, it makes you go to the bathroom.
Oh, right, it does. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. I don't know what I'm thinking of. But I've been also taking a lot of multivitamins and certain supplements and stuff, so it's been going good. Feeling good.
Yeah.
Feeling awesome.
My sleep has gotten better, and I think it was the pre-workout. So I just don't take pre-workout anymore. I only do it on the weekends when I go to boxing in the morning. Because Austin, I was having just shitty sleep for like the longest time. And still, it's not the greatest, but I'd be
My whole
tossing
week's been shitty.
Really? Just
Yeah.
sleep-wise?
Well, I've been getting like 4 hours and just waking up at like
dude,
tossing and
3
turning, waking up
a.m.
all
or
night.
2 a.m. Yeah. and
Well,
then
for
just
me, it's
doing
because I was
nothing.
taking a 200 milligram fucking thing of pre-workout right after work. I'd hit the gym and then I go
6
home
p.m.
and then I try to go to bed.
Yeah.
And I try to go to bed at like, I'm getting old, man. I try to go to bed at like 9:30, sometimes 10. And then I'll eventually get to sleep, but then I'm tossing and turning, waking up all night. I've also been having horrifying dreams. That doesn't help.
Dude, me too. Bro, I had some scary ass dreams last night, man. I had like 4 where I woke up in deep sweat. I'm like, is this real? I had one where I got stabbed. The other one, I like left my. So this is so fucking dumb. I remember this. I left my air conditioner in my room, and it was like February 1st, and it's freezing. And Dad comes in. He's like, why is your refrigerator or your air conditioner in the room? It's freezing the house. And then he like tried to hit me and shit. Right hand to God, this happened last night because I have a dream journal. I write this shit down. Yeah, no. I don't know what's up with nightmares, but I've been hearing a lot of nightmares going around here. I don't know if it's like a virus or something.
It's like that episode of SpongeBob.
What episode of SpongeBob?
When the whole room's like frozen. Remember that?
Oh, the future?
Yeah, something like that. Where like he's sick
Future.
though, and like everything's frozen.
Oh,
the
that
floor's
one, yeah.
slippery.
He's got
Oh,
the suds.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's all fucked
yeah.
up. Yeah. No, my sleep's been pretty inconsistent lately.
Don't worry,
It's
I'm sterile.
don't worry.
So you said you haven't been dreaming at all, Austin. A lot of things affect dreaming. Like I remember back when I was a bad boy and I was smoking, I would never have dreams, ever.
I don't smoke. I just like this whole week, like I just woke up at like a really early time in the morning, like 2 or 1 a.m. depending on when I got home from work. Like if I got home from work at midnight, I'd probably fall asleep at like 1 and then wake up at like 4. But then when I get home from work at like 9, I'd fall asleep at like 10 and wake up at like 1. But then I have to work the next day. So then when I don't fall asleep, I have to go to work. And then when I get back from work, I immediately fall asleep. And then I only sleep like 4 hours. So it's like kind of like a catch-22 of me like being so fucking tired. And then I just pass out. And then I wake up and then not being tired. And just fucking, it's keeps repeating. And I don't get to like actually lay in bed all day and like try to catch up. Because I have to go to work the next day.
Right, yeah.
So are you working like a mix of mornings and nights as a bartender?
I work nights, most nights, except Thursdays today.
Okay.
I work mornings, and I woke up at like 2 a.m. and didn't have to work until 10 a.m. Got home at 3, and I was like, I can't go to sleep 'cause I have to be in this podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, we're keeping you up. Yeah.
You're keeping you up?
Well, that's good. He stayed up at least, so then you can get some good sleep tonight, hopefully.
I'm hoping so, but then I've just been kind of hyping myself up, thinking about this. It's been fun. I'm enjoying this so far. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a
great.
good time, man. Thanks for coming on.
I fucked up Tuesday to Wednesday. I didn't sleep at all because at like 10 p.m. The girls are like, "Come out," and I'm like, "Shit, I got to work at 6 a.m." I didn't get home till 5 a.m. I just got a shower and went to work. And you ever be so sleepy or just like floating, like you're like a ghost, man. Like nothing fazed me. Someone shattered something, and I just go, "What's up with that? Don't be doing that." I'm so fucked up. I can't do that anymore. I hate being that tired. It's dangerous, dude. I was driving home. Dangerous, dude. Driving tired is the same as driving drunk, man.
I think it's worse. I honestly think that it is worse, depending on how blasted you are. There was one time or two, man, where when I first really got into the UFC, I'd drive up, I'd go to Superior or Duluth and watch it with the guys, whether that be like Ricky and them or like my buddies in Superior. And I would always be like, oh, I'm just going to drive back right after the fights, right at midnight. And then I don't have any traffic in the morning, and now every time I just at least get 5 to 6 hours and then leave really early the next day to beat traffic. Cause I would drive back at night, dude. And it was dangerous. Like I'd get to like North Branch, which is like 40 minutes to an hour out from where I live. And I would just be like, I would literally be like slapping myself to stay awake, doing anything I can, chewing gum. It was bad. It was not good. I honestly think it's like the worst experiences I've ever had driving, and I'll never let that happen again. Like I just won't do it.
My worst was driving back from the last grade day probably like 5 months ago now, with James, and I was sober that whole time, so I was like, I'm good. And I'm like, James, you got to stay awake if I stay awake. He's falling asleep within 30 minutes to drive back, but it was in the middle of a rainstorm, so everything was flooded, so I literally was hydroplaning and driving, and I turned up that podcast so loud and had all the windows down, and it's raining, and I feel like it was in like a Mad Max Fury Road where I was like, I can't fall asleep, but I'm also hydroplaning, so I can't stop. And that was fucking horrifying, man. Never again will I do that. Terrible. I'm just gonna crash in my car if I need to. But
no, but last night I was just like so tired, and we hired like 2 idiot cooks. I shouldn't say that. I doubt they would do this, but
cool guys. We'll edit that out.
We hired 2 cooks that didn't work out, and they got fired. And whenever a cook quits or gets fired at my job, since the owners know I know how to cook, they're like, "Hey, Austin, can you work these few days while we find a new cook?" And I'm a sucker, so I'm like, yeah. So last night, we had another new cook who is a good cook, not the one that got fired, but I had to work with him because it was supposed to be a busy night. And he's just a really talkative person, and I was just so fucking tired that he would just like talk to me and I would just look at him and like couldn't think of a response because I'm so tired and didn't know what to say.
Yeah.
And then at like 4 seconds, you're like, it's too late to respond.
Yeah.
So I just like turn around and walk away.
It's that delay.
I feel so bad for it because he's such a nice guy, but I just didn't know how to respond to him.
And like in your mind, you're thinking he turns around and he's like, man, that guy's autistic as fuck, you know? You know, but like, yeah, no, the response that's always in my mind. It's like, well, now I waited 10 seconds. It's too late to say anything. It's over with. Conversation.
I'm gonna go back to doing nothing.
Nah, I fucking hate being tired. It's constant. And really, since I've gotten fit, I realized how tired I was when I ate like shit. Like if I eat like shit, probably with you, Paul, with the cookies, you're probably so tired the next day because you have sugar in you and it makes you fucking dumb, you know?
Yeah.
At least that's how but it sucks.
What I really realized from that too, Jackson, and remember I told you about the lean cuisine I ate like a week ago, like the podcast, is how addictive sugar is. Like I've been off of it for like 3 weeks now. You go back to it and you're like, oh my God. It just makes everything taste better and everything's got added sugars. If you you're not paying attention, just eating whatever, you don't realize it. I think it's like honestly the most addictive substance in America has got to be sugar.
It is
100%.
It's bad. It's really, really bad.
It's in so many things. I mean, fucking you eat spaghetti. You know what sugar is in that?
Well, it's not just
and you don't even think about it.
It's not even just like small amounts of sugar. It's the added sugars to make it taste even better. So it's like you look and it'll be like, oh, it has 2 grams of sugar. That's not that crazy. But then when you go look on like a soda and it's like, oh yeah, but it has like 18 grams of added sugar. Like, holy shit. No wonder why kids are bouncing off the walls. Like,
oh yeah.
Yeah, it's terrible. And then they'll hide it and say it's like corn syrup. That's still sugar. You know, they'll do different terms for it. So
they have so many terms for corn syrup.
Yeah, for sugar and stuff. You don't even realize what you're eating.
But
it's
then
bad.
like
once you take audit on what you're eating, you realize how terrible you eat.
Yeah,
it's scary.
And then like I try to do like I do the fat-free cheese. And now everyone's like, you shouldn't be eating fat-free cheese. You know what kind of shit's in that? You know, like I'm like, you know what, dude? Whatever. Something's gonna kill me if it's gonna be sugar. If I get the fat-free cheese,
everything.
Is it pre-shredded, Paul, or do you shred your own?
It's already shredded.
Gotta shred your own, because here's what they put in the shredded stuff. One, it clumps together or anti-clumping, so it's really bad. It doesn't get the stringiness. But they put potato starches in it, which make you tired. That's why I save them the pre-shredded.
That's why you shouldn't make pasta with shredded cheese. You gotta shred your own because they have all that cornstarch and shit in it.
So can you get a block of fat-free cheese?
I'm sure you could. I don't even like eat cheese much. But yeah, you can definitely find it.
I do it because to me, that is honestly the best thing I've found that's lowering calories and can make any meal taste good and doesn't have a shit ton of carbs. Like I put it on my hash browns. I'll put it on my rice. I'll literally put it on everything. Put a little sugar-free chili sauce on there. Ooh, got yourself a meal.
Sold.
You know, a little bit of stir fry.
That's fire. I want to ask.
I just can't stop thinking about food. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, we're swap top. I want to ask you guys about this. Austin, how'd you hit a lick on Paul on RuneScape? Because I was reading this earlier. I'm like, I wonder what's up with this story.
Yeah, this is fucking bullshit. He's gonna defend himself, and he knows he's wrong about what he did.
What do you guys got to say?
It doesn't matter how I obtained it. Doesn't matter.
I am objectively wrong, but it is a moral gray area.
No.
Okay, so. What was it? 10th grade?
Yeah.
9th grade?
RuneScape.
10th grade?
Yeah.
RuneScape, old school RuneScape came out, and I started playing it. Aaron started playing it, and Aaron's friend Paul started playing it. I didn't really know Paul at the time.
You knew me a bit because we did Hunter Safety together.
Yeah, I knew you a bit, but like we weren't like
close. Yeah,
hanging out.
Yeah.
And Aaron introduced me to his friend Paul through RuneScape, and we talked on. It was probably Skype at the time.
Yeah, it was probably Skype or TeamSpeak.
Yeah. Paul was talking to us about RuneScape. We were playing and whatever. And then Paul kind of revealed that he just kind of botted fishing, or he botted a lot.
Oh, I remember that. I remember him doing that.
He botted fishing currently, and he was trying to get 99. And then he asked us to bot his account for him when he wasn't. So he gave us his password.
Mm-hmm.
So
hey,
we could
can I interject?
run the bot scripts.
Can I interject here quick? To be fair, when I was botting, I was usually present at my computer. I was just playing another game while I had the bot playing the game for me on the other screen.
Yeah,
Still
but you
not
also
cool.
asked us to bot for you.
Yeah, and you asked
No,
me
I
that
asked.
happened.
No, I didn't ask you to bot. I just asked you to log in and fish if you wanted. I don't think I told you to bot on it. Were you guys botting?
No, it wasn't botting. It wasn't botting. You're right. You asked us to fish. And then after like maybe a week of doing that for you, just like as like on my second monitor while I was playing RuneScape, I think you told me you were botting, and then I was like, oh, okay. Then I don't really care. But I still did it a little bit just to help a homie out, you know, my new friends. I don't know this guy, I'm gonna help him out.
Yeah.
And then he kind of just stops playing. And I still play. And like 3 months, maybe, yeah, like 3. I'll lowball it.
Mm-hmm.
3 months go by. Dude is not logged in once. I know his password. I know he has like 12 mil on his account.
Fucking son of a bitch.
I take his
so many
12
fucking
mil,
sharks, dude. You know how many goddamn sharks that is?
sold all of his sharks. And then I
had like 7,000 raw sharks or some shit. Maybe they were even
I take the money. I don't even fucking know what I did with it. Probably fuck all.
You went and lost at the duel arena. You gambled
That
it all
was
away.
many years later.
Yeah.
Many years later. But I took all of his money. And it took him like 6 more months after I stole it to come into like a fucking Skype call and be like, Austin, what the fuck happened to my money?
At first, Aaron took the... You know what's funny, though, Austin, is Aaron took the blame, though. I didn't know for the longest time that you were the one that did it. Aaron said he did it.
Well, Aaron took like a quarter of it.
Everyone's got their hands in your pocket.
So they all took it. You know, this just goes back though to what RuneScape always says: never share your password to anybody. And I made that dire mistake. And it's funny because I have a degree in cybersecurity now, and I know I'd never fucking do that for anything ever. And how dumb that was as a kid.
Mm-hmm. Well, as he's telling it, anything that you want to rebuttal on that, Paul? It's just because 3 months—that's pretty reasonable to take all his shit. I would have taken his shit after 1 month.
It doesn't.
No, that's fine,
dude.
It's okay.
If I was literally in Austin's shoes at that point, I would have never touched his account unless he wanted me to. Like, allegedly. But I'm also not a piece of shit. I'm just kidding. I get it. You eventually
I also have the ultimate rebuttal. As soon as he logged back in, I still had the money, and I said, "Do you want it back?" And what did you say, Paul?
I think I said no because it's the principle of it. And I think I just said I wasn't going to play anymore was even my plan. My plan was to just kind of log in and see where I was at because I didn't have membership anymore. I was just like,
so essentially, I just predicted the future of you not playing to play anymore.
Yeah.
If anything,
but,
he borrowed.
But the offer you gave me the other day still stands when you brought this up that if I ever do play again, you said you would give me some money.
I will give you money.
Yeah. So it's all going to work out in the end.
Yeah, if you ever want to play, I hope you don't play because then your life's just going to fucking go downhill.
Yeah, dude. That RuneScape, blessing and a goddamn curse. Great when we were kids, but you also think about all that time we spent playing that and we could have been learning like a martial art or fucking doing something useful.
Anything.
Yeah. Instead we're fucking clicking on trees and clicking on water.
Mm-hmm.
Jackson never got into it that much.
I was too little. I did watch him play a little bit, yeah. But Paul, do you remember that one RuneScape like creepypasta where they open the door and it's like that guy with the eyes bulging out of his head?
Yeah,
do you remember that? There's like an old RuneScape video where it's like a jump scare where it's some black guy with his eyes bulging out of his head where it's like pops on the screen and scares you, but it was a RuneScape like creepypasta.
Yeah.
I think about that every once in a while. That's awful.
No, we got to get our brother Weston on the cast sometime to talk about RuneScape. Weston and John Guitar used to play RuneScape with me quite a bit as well.
Weston's a hard fish to read. I don't think you'll ever get on here. We can't reel him in, not on this.
I think he's just trying to figure life out right now. He doesn't really know what he wants to do, and I feel it. And he's just kind of keeping to himself. That's fine. It takes time for everybody.
Can I segue this into Norway?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
On Paul and I got in trouble in Norway.
Oh shit! Yeah, we can talk about this.
But Paul wasn't there to take the blame when I got the talking to.
Hey, we didn't really even get in trouble though. Like we didn't
did not
actually
get in
get
trouble,
in trouble.
But we got like a talking to on like how serious the trouble could have been.
Yeah.
What was it?
Because we were visitors in another country and we did something we shouldn't have.
So after, I forget what it was. What was, like, we went to a bar.
It was a day or two before the wedding. We all get decided to meet up at like a bar. Some people went and ate at a place before there. We didn't go. But you and I were already together before the bar. So
I think, yeah.
It was just you and I, though. We decided to walk there together, but then we saw the scooters, right?
Yeah. Yep. And then we saw the scooters and we're like, oh, let's get these scooters. Technically, I'm in more trouble than Paul.
Because they weren't in my name. My phone didn't have service in Norway. His did, so I couldn't get the app to get the scooters. So we just got 2 different branded scooters on his phone.
Yeah, there was a pink scooter and a green scooter. And I downloaded both the apps. So I could buy Paul his scooter and buy my scooter. And we're a little tipsy. And we drive to the bar.
I've had like 1 beer at that point.
I was a little tipsy.
I know you were at that point.
We drive to the bar. We park our scooters, and we're like, "All right, these are where they're parked."
Can we
Hopefully
stop?
They come back.
Can we pause here for a second, though? We had a really good time on the way to the bar. We went all up around.
We detoured all around fucking Bergen.
We were fucking like Tony Hawk, like going off like staircases on them and like fucking we were like blowing the suspension out on those fucking things.
Dude, we were destroying them.
We were fucking wrecking them, dude. It was not good. It was smoking cigarettes while we were doing it too. We just looked like shitheads, dude.
Yeah.
And then we get to the bar.
Park them. We're like, okay, cool. They're there. Hopefully they're there when we get back. We go into the bar. The bar scene was amazing. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was a cool
scene. Really liked us as Americans.
Yeah, dude. They were into us.
So it was like buy one, get one vodka drinks. So I was like, 2 vodka Red Bulls. Chug them. I'm the alcoholic of the group. 2 more. Chug them. And they're like, oh my God, we've never had so much like business at the bar before. These Americans are amazing. And they bought our table 2 bottles of champagne.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I get 2 more vodka Red Bulls. I didn't take any of the champagne. And then, you know, after a night of dancing and listening to music and hanging out with friends, we're like, all right, let's go back to our scooters and ride home.
So I just want to interject. I got the buy one get one because I just wasn't gonna get the. I think I gave one to you. Like I didn't want to have a second one. I think I literally just
probably
had 1
7
drink.
And Paul had 1.
Yeah, I literally had like, because I don't drink a lot. I don't like feeling really drunk. Like I like to get a little buzz going maybe, but nothing super crazy. But I do remember specifically not being hammered. Like I remember that entire night. Like I remember everything that happened. But yeah, go ahead, Austin. So we go outside, we get the scooters again. But oh no, we can only get one scooter.
Of the scooters is missing.
It was dead on battery.
Or was it dead? Okay.
Yeah.
We couldn't use one of the scooters. So I was like, all right, you drive, I'll ride tandem, I think was the first way. Because I knew I didn't want to make you to feel unsafe, and I knew I was way too drunk to care to be about being unsafe, so I wanted you to drive.
Yeah.
So I just like hug your waist. And then we drive around to find another scooter for me or Paul, whoever wanted to take the green one. And then we never do. So we're just like, all right, fuck it. We'll just go show off in front of our friends. We start driving in front of the bar tandem.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like there was a speed bump in like one of the canals or roads, and we just start ripping it and jumping it.
Yeah, dude, like going as fast as we can up the road,
like just
hitting it,
fucking up the suspension.
Yeah. Dude.
And then, you know, after that handled, I was the one left on the scooter. Paul was walking with them, and I was kind of just like fucking about on the scooter. And then like I was so drunk that I was thinking about we were just all going home, so I just kind of drove off and like looked back and like no one's behind me. I was like, oh, well, they probably all went home. So I just drove home. Apparently they all went to like McDonald's or something.
Yeah. No, they went to the hot dog stand.
The hot dog stand. You met those like two Norwegian kids.
Yeah. That was an awkward situation. But I felt very uncomfortable there. Outside the hot dog stand at like 2 a.m.
I wasn't there, so I'm not going to expand on that situation.
Yeah.
I went home. I slept. The next morning, we plan on going to this schnitzel shop.
Kebabs.
And kebabs, that's what it is.
I didn't go. I was on my tour.
Paul did not go, and that's what made me feel the worst about this. Was because we all got our kebabs. We were like all halfway through, and like the host, what was his name again?
Geir. So that's Henriette's uncle who lives in Norway, who's from there. Yeah.
Yeah. Geir stands up and is like, "Hey, by the way, I just wanted to tell everyone, I know you had a bunch of fun last night, but if you're drunk and driving those scooters, it is a DUI. And a DUI is like a fine of 90% of your income for a year.
Jesus.
And if you're riding tandem, your license is taken away." And Paul and I did both of those. And Paul was not there to hear him say that. Mm-hmm. So I was the only one there like, he's fucking talking about me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just felt like shit and didn't want to finish my sandwich.
I know how that feels where you get the guilt and you're just not hungry anymore. I probably would have felt the oh, sorry, I cut out for a sec. I probably would have felt the same way, honestly, man. No, I'm sorry you had to go through that. I ended up hearing it, and then I think Geir mentioned it to me in passing, like at the wedding. He was just like, "Oh, you heard about the scooter thing, right?" I'm like, yeah. But see, here's why I didn't give a shit, okay? And not to be a dick, the scooters weren't my name at the time. At the time, if they wanted to breathalyze me, I think it's any alcohol, you would have been fucked anyways, so whatever. But I wasn't actually, like, by American standards, I was not drunk. I could say I would not have blown a 0.8 or 0.8 or whatever it is.
Yeah, but in Norway it's 0.02.
0.2. Yeah, so I might have, I might not have. And the third thing is literally the next day though. So I think the next day was my Norway in the Nutshell tour. So I was all over Norway, including downtown Bergen for a bit. There were so many people riding tandem on those scooters all throughout the daylight, and I'm just like, then I guess. And also the thing is there were a lot of cops there. I'm sure you were as surprised as I was. There were cops everywhere in Norway. They're posted up on like every block where we were in Bergen. Yeah. So it made you feel safe. But you looked at those cops, and they looked like they were just looking for like tomfoolery. I don't think they were looking for like what we were doing. Now, yes, maybe we shouldn't have been jumping it off speed bumps at 2 a.m. in the fucking town square area. Probably not a good idea. Not a good look.
Also, like, maybe you would have had an excuse. Like, we're Americans. We didn't fucking know. You know?
Yeah, it's gonna be a classic though. Like, you're a visitor in our country, you should know our laws. You know, no exceptions. Yeah, we could have gotten a hard ass. You know,
we could have gotten a hard ass and like a fucking slap on the wrist, and I would have paid a fine. But like, those penalties were insane. Well,
I looked it up, and from what I found is, yes, they can take up to a year. That's in extreme cases, but typically it's half, like a month and a half salary, which is a lot. And like, they don't fuck around. Like, they'll just take your license away for like very little blood alcohol content, and sometimes even a year in jail for like each one is, you can get a year in jail.
Now,
so, honestly, yeah, I'm cool with that. You know, just don't drink and drive. Don't be a piece of shit. But not you guys. The scooters are fine. You ain't hurt. No, what are you gonna do? You're gonna kill yourself before you kill anybody else, right? So,
we fall in the ocean.
Yeah. Well, you almost did. You slid near the harbor. Do you remember that when you fucking burned out on it? You don't. You went behind that potted plant that was right next to the bay, and you jackknifed it. You got back up like immediately.
I X-gamed it.
Yeah, you X-gamed it.
Well, what the hell happened at this hot dog stand, Paul? What's going on there?
I was just, I don't want to name names because there may be people that listen to the podcast, but there were people there in the group that were a little, maybe have drank too much and were a little too excited to be talking to these Norwegian guys. And I was just put in an uncomfortable spot, and me and Aaron just felt really uncomfortable, and we kind of stood away from the crowd while we just ate our hot dogs at 2 a.m., which, by the way, dude, they they know how to do their dogs there, man. Those reindeer dogs with the boysenberry sauce on them or whatever it was.
Actual reindeer?
Yeah, it was. Oh, it was exquisite, dude. They're so good. I went to that hot dog stand probably 2-3 times when I was there. It's fun, and they're like this big. They're like fucking long as shit.
Didn't I just see you here the other day and say, "Oh no, you're fucking shoving down"?
I have a mustache now.
Yeah, mustache.
Yeah.
Don't want everyone to know, but yeah, what was weird about it? Just how they were interacting.
Oh
with them,
yeah, like I was just really uncomfortable with how the people in our group were interacting with these guys, and I just kind of felt like I just wasn't about it. It was late. I was, like hungry. I'm so tired. I wanted to go home. I just wasn't about it at that time. That's all it was.
I made a few Norwegian friends.
Not really anything interesting about it. Did I tell you about when we came back from the wedding about those guys that I thought were gonna jump me? Did I tell you about that?
No.
Okay, so when I got back from the wedding, I got in an Uber with Bree, Robbie, and all their friends, and they dropped me and Robbie off centrally downtown. So like I was, where my Airbnb was. I was kind of far away. Like they dropped us off near like the train station, kind of. So I had to walk. I was like, whatever, it's 1 a.m. But that's when I was like, holy shit, because it was Saturday night. Saturday was during the wedding. We got back at like 1 a.m. and it was popping. When I got out of that Uber, dude, there were people everywhere, people partying in the streets. All the bars and clubs were filled. But then I saw that like, oh shit, 2 a.m. or 2:30 a.m. is when like all the clubs close. Like they can't serve alcohol anymore or whatever. So I'm like kind of fast walking in my suit and looking good from the wedding. It's dark out and I'm getting towards my Airbnb where, less and less people are into like the home areas and stuff. And this drunk guy just comes up and puts his arm around me. And he was like a younger guy. I'd say like maybe mid-20s. And then all his friends start to surround me. And I could tell they're all obviously just blasted, like just got out of the club. And he's asked me where I'm coming from, who I am, whatever. And but at first, so he was being very threatening with his arm around me. So, I didn't even say a word. The first thing I did is I just pulled a cigarette out, put it in his mouth, and I lit it for him. And he goes, "Hey man, thanks." He's like, "What's your name?" I'm like, "Paul." He's like, "You're an American, aren't you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm American." And he's like, "Hell yeah." And then he gets all his buddies like, "This guy's an American. Fuck yeah." They're all like, "Yeah, man, like welcome to Norway." And I was like, okay. Because at first it was like really threatening. It was super dark. There's nobody else on the road. There's just this group of guys around me. And like the way I opened it up was like, okay, cigarettes are friendly. Let's just give this guy a cig. Maybe he'll move along. And sure enough, he was like, "Hey, you gonna come out to the clubs after? You should." I go home, I change, I go out, I never see those guys again. I get to the club just in time to get a drink before they close. And then I ended up going to like Burger King at like 3 a.m. And it was just packed, and I don't know. But that was really like daunting because I was in a country, I was with nobody I knew. I was in like the middle of a road and there's nobody else. I was like, what's gonna happen here? And I know it's a very like not violent country, but I figured they'd see me.
A strange man puts his hands around me. I think I had to touch his dick immediately, right? I think that would have been way different for me.
I don't know.
It was sus. I don't like that. I don't like
that
at all.
Well, I just think strangers touching you is weird in general. Now the guy was drunk, so it's not like it's an excuse, but yeah, it was weird. He like arm around me as he's walking, kind of deal. I just put a cig in his mouth and lit it, and it was all good. It was all cool.
Yeah.
The final cool thing about Norway was there's a lot of cool graffiti.
Oh yeah, dude! Like it was really nuts how much graffiti there was.
Like,
and it was just like really artistic.
Are they just okay with graffiti, or are they like just like
they didn't seem to get rid of it?
Yeah, they're not painting it over. Some of it looked old, but it was just like good artists though. Like it wasn't just like some shitty graffiti you see.
Remember that one guy who was doing all the weird stencils, like the old lady on the scooter? Do you remember that one? And then like the cat, like you could tell it was the same artist across the town. We saw someone we were to get out that night with Michael.
Yeah,
it was some cool stuff. I got pictures of you guys up against some graffiti. It looked pretty sick.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about that graffiti like den they have in Duluth, where you can jump down in the bridge. You guys ever been to that before? It's like over near where Canal is. If you cross the highway, you can jump down and they're underneath the overpass, and it's like out and shit. Yeah, the only way out is like climbing. I was just thinking about that. That's some cool graffiti. I mean, you don't see much good stuff around here, though.
Earlier when you talked about Japan, being cheap, you got me thinking. I'm like, damn, dude, that passport costs money. I better put that thing to use. I gotta go somewhere,
Get
like I
around
gotta do
trip, you in
something.
Destiny. $1,000, get a capsule hotel, $1 a night, and you're
I'll
sold.
I'll think about it. The problem is I'm just about to close on a house, and then I want to
you
put
got money to spend.
yeah, and I gotta get like there are basically 3 main things I want when I move into the house right away. Okay, first thing is I want a new recliner, like a nice recliner for the living room, and they make one that matches the new sofa we bought a couple years ago, same color. So I want to buy that recliner. That's like $400. Second thing, I want an entertainment center that's got that built-in electric fireplace. That's another few $100. I want that for the living room. And the third thing is I want a surround sound system. That's that's the only 3 things I want for like furniture when I move in. Surround sound, like home theater system. Which
it's like such a dad thing.
I know. But here's the deal. My brother has one that's like a $2,000 system that he doesn't use that he's gonna sell to me for like $750. So I'm like, okay, damn.
Bitching. Listen to R40 on that.
Have you seen it or heard it? I've never seen it.
We listened to the R40 in its entirety at one time at his house. That's Rush R40. Their last.
Is that system sick?
Yeah.
Like, is it a good
it's
system?
So fucking sick. I mean, it sounded good.
Because I want to watch the fights with that, and I got a new TV already that I'm gonna mount on the wall. It's gonna be fun. I'm gonna have everybody over for the fights. Because Austin, I'm gonna invite you, and you're of course invited too, Jackson. I'm gonna have a housewarming party sometime in the spring here once we get settled in. So like bring drinks. I'm gonna have like food and stuff, and it's probably gonna be a thing that a shindig, right, where it starts like around 1 or 2 p.m. and that's where I get like mom and dad come over for a little bit and like all the other older people, and then like I'll tell the friends to like show up whenever, but really show up around like 6 or 7 when everybody's starting to leave, and then it goes into the night kind of deal. I'd love to get a fire pit before then. Maybe we'll do it like early summer or something. But
when are you thinking about closing?
So that I'm going to be closing on the house March 15th. But nice. I won't have the keys in my hand till as late as April 14th. And that's just because like they're in the process of getting a house built. They're going to rent it back for me. It's kind of a little bit of an odd situation, but we've gotten it all worked out. So what I'm kind of worried about, and that's not really worried, it's just I want to spend as little money as possible, is like me having to pay for another month of rent here when I really don't need to. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to avoid. I don't want to really double overlap. I don't want this place to sit empty with me paying money for it,
Well, just might as well live it up for that month if you have to. Trash the place. I don't know.
No, dude, yeah, because I don't want my security deposit back.
Yeah. No, that's good shit. I'm really excited for you to come up here. We'll have an in-house studio at some point.
And then next show,
promise it's coming super quick, but
probably by this summer, because the summer, the first thing I said like I want to do is I want to paint the outside of the house. I want to power wash it and I want to paint it. After that, during that period, we can start building a studio. Austin, you could come to the in-person podcast studio and do the podcast there. It'd be a good time.
So many bits and things we have ready for y'all that only work in person, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah, exactly.
I fucking love that.
I wanted to ask you, Austin, do you have any restaurant industry, food service, bartender stories you want to tell on the show? I have a few written down here myself throughout the years when I used to work in food service, and I kind of want to hear your perspective. Do you got anything off the top of your head, or do you want me to start?
Well, I've had a few things happen to me in like the past month.
Okay. What do you got?
So one of them was I usually work a Tuesday night as a night bartender. I'm not grandfathered into like the weekend shifts or anything yet, so I gotta do some weeknights. And Tuesday night, one night I had nobody in the bar for like an hour and a half. It was a slow Tuesday night, it's like right before the holidays. So nothing's really happening. And 2 people walk in. I'm like, holy shit, people. Could I get a Bacardi and could I get a fucking Captain? Cool. Bacardi Coke, Captain Coke. There you go. And then they start chatting with me. And it took me about a minute to realize these people are already fucking drunk. So as a bartender, like if I feel like someone's too drunk to drive home, if they get pulled over and they say, where were you just at? You were at this bar. I get a huge fine for not cutting them off,
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's terrible. That's stupid.
So I was like, okay, I can't give you guys any more drinks. But as they were finishing their current drink, they just started having a domestic spout.
Was this a guy and a girl, or two guys, or what?
Yeah, they were husband and wife.
Mm-hmm.
Just yelling at each other about money and like how they're keeping their house and what's in their storage container and how that motherfucker should move all this shit out of his storage container. And it's like, well, where the fuck are we gonna put that shit? It's like, can you guys fucking leave, dude? Like, I don't want to deal with this. Only 2 people in the restaurant too, so like I can't leave behind the bar because like there's money behind the bar.
Yeah.
So I have to just stand there, and they keep looking at me like, who's right? And I'm like,
pick a side.
I don't know.
You should have picked a side. See where this went.
I don't care about either of you motherfuckers.
Yeah.
So he goes to the ATM, and I'm like, and I go to his wife. I'm like, he knows I cut him off, right? And he goes to the ATM, grabs a 20, and is like, 2 more drinks, please. And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, what the hell? And I'm like, you guys are a little drunk. I don't know who's driving home, but it doesn't seem like either of you can really well. But like, I don't want to serve you anymore. And he goes, okay, that's fair enough. Then they go back to fucking fighting. After like 10 minutes, the lady goes, did you tip the bartender? And he looks down at the 20 he slapped it on the table. He's like, I think so. And then they just walk out. So I got a pretty big tip for just serving one drink.
You'd have been like, no, you
Hell
didn't,
yeah.
actually. Actually, you didn't pay for any of the drinks you just got. No,
Nice.
See, when Paul mentioned that, he's like, was it a guy or a girl arguing? It's like, first of all, 2 gay guys would never argue in public. First of all, I hit him behind closed doors. So I keep him on a tight leash, right? Remember, domestic abuse is okay if you're gay, because what are you going to call the police? You got beat up by a guy? Are you a pussy? That's just not how that works. That's a little known fact for you. No, that's drunk people when you're not drunk are the worst things to be around, at least in my opinion. I guess if you're a bartender, you probably deal with it a lot more, but God, I hate drunk people. You know what I always get problem with? Like, especially if I'm dressed like this, white women hate when I'm dressed like this when they're drunk. They just flock to me like a magnet and start harassing me and shit. I've had it happen many times, but no, that shit's just insufferable to me. People drunk.
Yeah.
Not a fan. Unless I'm drunk, then it's okay.
Terrible.
But 2 days ago, this one was guy a son and a mother come in, and they start trauma dumping on me. They're gonna pull the plug on my best friend at 10 p.m. tonight. It was like 6 p.m. And I was like, oh my God, what happened? They told me about like how he got hit by a car and whatever when they were leaving like one of his favorite bars. And I was like, oh my God, that sounds terrible. So I bought him a shot. And, we all took the shot together because I can have a drink as a bartender. But after like 30 minutes, they were just talking to each other. I might have popped in the chat like every couple minutes. And then another person at the end of the bar ordered the ribs. And then the mom was like, oh my God, you have ribs? I'm like, yeah, that's tonight's special. She's like, are they good? As she gets out of her chair, walks over to the person at the end of the bar with a fork and takes one of his ribs and like starts eating it.
The fuck?
And like the dude at the end of the bar was a regular, and I've never seen these motherfuckers before. And I was just like, what the fuck? And I was just like standing next to the regular as she walked back to her chair, and the regular was just like, that is the weirdest fucking thing I've ever seen. And I was like, yeah, that is fucking insane. How did she just eat off of your plate?
Did you offer to get him an extra rib at least from the back?
Well, yeah. I was like, do you want another set of ribs? Like, and he's like, no, it's fucking fine. I'll just cut that part away and I'm gonna take the rest home. And as that dude was a regular who got the ribs, I was like, I feel so fucking bad. So I just went straight over to the other people and I was like, you guys are cut off. And she's like, what? You're kicking me out? I'm like, no, I'm cutting you off. You can leave on your own accord, but like, you gotta stop being weird. No more drinks for you.
I just picture that like Chris Rock where he's like, let me get one rib.
Yeah. The lady starts crying at the bar. And it was like, I've been a regular here for 45 years. And I'm like, that's not even how long this place has been here.
Yeah.
So she just starts crying, and then the son looks at me, and like me and the son were like kind of bonding a little, like we were on even ground. But he was just like, "Yeah, I'll take her home," and she just cried her way out. It's like, I'm being kicked out of my bar for 45 years. I'm like, I've never seen you before, lady.
You didn't even technically kick her out. You just cut her off. She could have stayed.
I know, that's what I told her. I was like, no, I'm only cutting you off. You just don't be weird.
Just order a thing of ribs and eat your fucking own ribs. Why are you getting off people's plates? Yeah, what the fuck?
You should have immediately started laughing when they said, we gotta pull the plug.
Yeah,
you just start pointing and laughing. I'm just kidding. No, that would have been fucked up.
So aside
that
from
was just the past 3 weeks.
So aside from the weird recent stuff and the stuff you encounter as a bartender there, do you make pretty good money? Like, is it a pretty good place to work? Like, do you have tips and stuff?
Yeah, I can get pretty good. Like I said, I don't get the good shifts because I'm not like seniority there.
Top dog, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't get like Friday, Saturdays or anything. Or I serve Fridays, but I don't like bartend Fridays. I don't bartend Saturdays.
Oh, so they actually have servers there. It isn't just like bar food.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I'll need to come there at some point. I heard the burgers were good there. Is that true?
Yeah, they're pretty good. I mean, they're nothing special, but they kind of hit. I don't know.
Okay. I'll have to give it a shot.
I worked at Tavern on the Hill for a little while. I don't know if there's any stories I haven't told. Yeah, gross. Did I ever tell a story about the dude that lit the dumpster on fire? Did I ever mention that?
No.
I don't think you did.
Okay, so I was working there and this new kid started. We just happened to go to high school with him. And now this kid was in special ed classes throughout entire high school. Everyone knew him as the retarded kid. And so he starts working at Tavern. And long story short, he's terrible. He's like one of the worst workers he ever had. Doesn't know how to function. Because I think his IQ is literally like 80. So I can't really put too much blame on the guy. But this guy was fucked up and really, really dumb. One day he goes out to smoke a cigarette. Doesn't put out his lit cigarette, throws it into the cardboard dumpster, starts on fire. But not only did he know about it, he stood there and watched it for 5 minutes, didn't tell anybody, turned around, walked back in and started working. And that's the reason he got fired, is because the manager goes and is going to go fire him. And this is how the manager told me. He's like, so we weren't going to fire you for starting on fire because, accidents happen and that was just really dumb of you. But there's also the security camera of you standing staring at it for 5 minutes. It's like, and then you didn't say anything, so we're gonna have to let you go. And the kid's bawling, he's crying, and that was just the funniest fucking shit. Because I remember coming in the next day, I'm like, "Why is it, garbage can all scorched and shit?" And like, yeah, he set it on fire and just left it. And it was terrible because the kid
had to put it out, or did it eventually just go out on its own?
Our manager Cole did. He got like a bunch of a gallon bucket and just kept walking from the sink and dumping it in there. So when we get out, we didn't want to call the fire department or whatever.
Yeah.
But the worst part about it is, thank God I wasn't there. He cried in the break room the entire day because he didn't have a ride home for like 6 hours because it was at the beginning of his shift when they let go. So he was literally in that break room crying for like 5 hours. And I could just imagine my manager being like, I know you're crying, but you got to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, you gotta get a bus, call an Uber.
But that was sad. Fucking poor Jake. I'm not gonna say his last name. I'm gonna name him. He knows. He's a viewer. He's a consistent viewer of this. So shout out to you, man. I hope you're doing better. Hope you're not starting fires and not telling anyone about them because that was your downfall, evidently. But yeah, that's just one of the fucking few stories. Just nonsense that goes on in any restaurant, honestly.
For sure.
It's just full of idiots.
Yeah. I have quite a few actually. Let's see, what are the best ones here? Honestly, they're all pretty good, but I'll start you off with a good one. So when I was delivering for Herberts and Gerberts, so when I graduated from college, it was right at the peak of COVID. This is when there were like no cars on the road. This is where like everybody was indoors and like super scared when this happened. So I had a couple jobs lined up right outside of school, but they all froze hiring and I got fucked. Like I had no jobs lined up anymore. They're like, oh, we're not going to hire for this position anymore. Sorry, just due to COVID, we can't. So I was just like, well, I just better go back to doing what I was doing in school before working at the college, which was delivering food. I would deliver pizza. So I went to work at Herberts and Gerberts. And at this time during the summer, I had just got my first, I had a 400cc Yamaha. I had a gas scooter. So the reason why I would rip that to Herberts is because they actually had their own delivery vehicles. Like the owner just had vehicles. You would just beat the shit out of them, basically. It was like shitty cars like Pontiac. And this one I would normally drive was like a Hyundai Tucson, which is like a great value Porsche SUV. And
no one's changed your oil.
Yeah, no one would change the oil. And then like they would get mad at me when there's something wrong with the car, or like they'd get mad at the drivers. Why didn't you tell us this was happening? It's like the owner knows he has these cars in his name. Why doesn't he ever get them fucking serviced? He should be getting them brought in every 6 months, you know, even faster than that with how much we deliver in them. Anyways, I'm driving and I'm in like Central Hillside area, and I'm at this 4-way stop. And as I get to this 4-way stop, I stop there and just stay stopped. There, it isn't busy, because what I see in front of me on the opposite side is I see a guy in his truck, or no, he's in a minivan, and the lady behind him in a SUV. So he's in a minivan, and the lady in the SUV just rams into his bumper while he's stopped at the stop sign. And then the old guy's like, what the, you know, he's like, what the fuck, in his car, and he gets out, and she keeps backing up and ramming into him. Backing up and just going forward and ramming into the dude's bumper. He's like, what the fuck's wrong with you, crazy bitch? She's got the window down, and she's like, fuck you, get out of my fucking way, you're in my way. And it's like, just because he fully stopped at the stop sign, she couldn't even just go around or do something illegal. She just decides to keep reversing and going forward and bashing into this guy's fucking car. And so I'm watching this stop sign. There's nobody else around. I'm like, dude, am I about to like witness an assault? Dude grabs a baseball bat out from like behind his car and just starts fucking going to work on her SUV. Dude smashes a fucking mirror off, starts hitting the windshield. She's screaming at him. He starts whipping it through. And at that point, I was like, I put it in drive. I just take a right and I just go. I didn't even fucking call the cops. I didn't do anything. No, I just fucking. I just
call the cops.
No, I was not gonna get involved.
Could have live leaked it.
No,
dude, a murder.
I didn't want to like be involved in a police report. I didn't want to wait and have my deliveries be late. I was like, okay, I saw nothing. And I get back to the store and I tell the other driver on shift about that. He's like, dude, you should have called the police. That lady might be hurt or something. I'm like, not my problem.
I deserve
that.
That's
what I told him. Like,
I deserve that.
Dude, she seemed like she was in the wrong. There's something wrong with her. She was on something.
At least a drive-by video of damn, you were driving by and just say that. Dude, hey, fucking that car. That's all you needed to do.
World star.
He was obviously furious. She was fucking his car up, and he was going to town on her car with that baseball bat, dude. And he started like trying to hit through the window with the butt end of the bat. He was trying to like pike her through the fucking window that was
Jesus
shattered.
Christ. Hey, maybe you should have called the police. Holy Christ.
Dude, I do got a story about how I had to talk to the police for something I witnessed once.
Yeah, go ahead.
What was that?
So, I don't go to Superior often, Paul. I don't know how much I'm going to enjoy visiting you.
That's fair. I delivered for
Henriette had her like
at one point.
Huh?
I would sometimes have to cover delivery shifts in Superior at the Herberts, and it's a weird. No one tips there. Kind of sucks.
I bet. Yeah. But we were at Henriette's like a film screening. It was like a drive-in because it was COVID, but like her college films. And then after, Aaron was like, yo, you want to go to this bar? And I'm like, sure. So I ride with Aaron. We go to a bar. We walk in. We sit at the first 2 seats of the bar, and there's like a dude in the 3rd seat, and he's like has long hair, longer, like as long as mine now, I suppose, but it's like all curly. And I sit next to him, and I had long hair at the time. That was like 2 years ago. I cut it off and grew it out again. But he was like, oh, dude, you have nice hair. You should get a perm. I have a perm. Do you think it looks good? And I'm like, yeah, dude, it looks good. And he's like, yeah. You should give me your number. Let's get perms. I'm like, yeah, dude, getting perms would be fun. I didn't give him my number. And then, like, I just chatted him for a little bit, and he's like, you want to play pool? I was like, well, fuck, yeah, I love pool. Are you paying? He's like, yeah, I'll pay. Hands me, like, $1.50 in quarters, and it's like, I'm just gonna go to the bathroom real quick. And then, like, grabs the handles of the bar stool, lifts himself into a wheelchair that I did not notice. I was like, oh, okay, so he's handicapped. Wheels himself to the restroom. I load up the game of pool. We're going to play threes because Aaron was there. And I set it up, and I'm waiting for him to come out of the bathroom. And it's taking like an unusually long time. But I assume it's because he has to lift himself off of the chair. And
give him extra 10 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. So he comes out of the bathroom, and I'm like, hey. And he just rolls right past me, straight to the exit, and leaves. And I'm like, he paid for this game of pool. Like, what the? Is he smoking a cig or something? Like, I'm gonna go check on him.
Mm-hmm.
I go out there. 4 black dudes beating the shit out of him, ripped him out of his wheelchair. Fuck. Ripped him out of his wheelchair and just beating the shit out of him. And I was like, yo, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
And he's like, do you know this motherfucker? I'm like, I just met him. I thought we were going to play pool. He's like, well, he just called us the N-word. And I was like, oh, well, then, yeah, no, I don't fuck with him. You know?
Yeah.
And then there's like a siren. All the black dudes run away. Dude's like crying on the ground, screaming my name. And I'm like, I'm just gonna go back inside. Like, I'm not fucking with that dude if he's gonna be racist, you know?
Yeah.
And then I go back inside. I'm like, well, I'm just gonna steal his game of pool then. So Aaron and I start playing. And I think I might have invited like 2 other girls to play with us, 2v2. And then all the sirens are going outside, and the girls are like, what do you think's happening out there? And I was like, oh, it's probably because I just saw some dude get beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
And the girls were like, well, you should probably go give a police report. And I was like,
God damn it. Oh, God
you're
damn it.
fucking right. God damn it. But thankfully, the police officer I talked to, I went to school with. So I was like, oh, what's up, Maddie?
Mm-hmm.
This is what happened. I don't know this guy, by the way.
Yeah.
And she was like, well, he's screaming your name. And I'm like, I just met him 15 minutes ago. He left. I went after to see if he was smoking a cig. And 4 black dudes are beating the shit out of him, saying he said the N-word. I don't care what happens to him. Not his friend. And she was like, thanks for the police report. And I'm like, good.
No, it's like not only did he get beat up, but he got his pool game stolen too. What a rough night for this guy.
It was gifted to me. It was gifted to me.
I mean, I guess don't say the N-word around black people, I guess. That's the moral of the story there, you know?
Yeah.
Even if you're in a wheelchair, you think the wheelchair added a little bit of immunity to him, but it doesn't. Yeah. I guess that now we know it does not.
Did they also steal the wheels off the chair just to prove a fucking point?
No. They're take the wheelchair, they're wheeling off in it. Maybe then I would intervene if they took the wheels. I'd be like, all right, guys, you can't take the chair.
Can't take the chair.
It was insane though. Like how I said they ran off as soon as like the siren went off.
Yeah.
Because like I looked down at the dude and I swear to God they were like 2 blocks away. It took me like half a second to look and they were just fucking gone. And I was like, holy fuck, dude. You're
like, holy shit. Was he fucked up? Like, it's a hospital trip or he's fine?
He's fucked up.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Damn. They really got to him then. Holy shit. That's wild as fuck. I don't think I've ever seen anyone really get beat up in public before.
It was really weird, especially a guy in a wheelchair get ripped out of a wheelchair. And I'm like, my first instinct was like, I kind of know that guy. What the fuck's happening? They're like, he said the N-word. And I'm like, okay, you're right.
Yeah. Okay. You're right.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah. I'm not going to argue. No, it's funny. That's crazy.
I got another good food service industry story. So this was when I was 15. It was my first job at Papa Murphy's. And, you know, when you're 15, like in the state of Minnesota, you can't even use a knife. So like my hours were, and you can't work a certain amount. You can only work a certain amount of hours. So it was very limited. Like I could really only wash dishes and like make pizzas. That's like really all I could do. I could also sometimes do the cashiering thing. And one of the things though I could do is on the weekends, I could do prep, you know? So like I could make the sauce, you know, I could undo the sauce, do all types of shit, right? Mm-hmm. And we put these sauce in these big clear totes and we date it, you know, and then we'd put them in the big walk-in cooler. And we'd have usually, you know, an entire shelf full of sauce. I mean, pizza place, you go through a lot of sauce. It's, you know, it goes on everything, the red sauce. And you know, when you're 15 or 16, maybe this was just me, but whenever there's an opportunity to get off early, nowadays I've never wanted to get off early. Yeah, even though I'm salaried, it's like whatever.
You got shit to do. Yeah.
But it's like, oh, I want to get off early. Like I want to get off early as soon as I could. And I had an opportunity to get off early if I finished up the sauce. And then I fucked up. I'm in there, dude. I'm stacking them. And somebody had like stacked the totes wrong. And I put the one on. and the lid slides off and it slides behind the whole thing, and all the sauce containers on this whole one shelf slide off the back of the shelf and splatter all over the wall, all over the backside.
Estimate 5 gallons.
At least 10 gallons of sauce.
Oh no,
dude,
bro!
And I'll never forget Will Stewarwald, rest in peace. He was a guy I worked with there. Comes in, he goes, "Oh, Paul, man, oh," and like no one was mad. But they did help me clean it. I mainly cleaned it, but like couldn't really mop it. So you had to we took like pieces of a box and like scooped it into the garbage because it was all over the back wall. We had to pull one of the whole shelves out of there. It's cold in there. The sauce is starting to stick to the metal walls. Yeah. It's hard to get off because it's fucking red sauce. And I'll just never forget that. I felt like such a fucking idiot when I did that. This is more like a work accident story.
Mm-hmm.
I got a few other good ones here. Oh, go ahead.
I got a good spill one too. I'll pick it back. So during Target's remodel, we had a whole trailer like where we put all like our food and bev stuff because we didn't have a cooler or freezer in the store. So it's literally a trailer like you'd walked into. You'd open the door, the big sliding door. So they're literally the only thing separating the freezer and the dairy cooler is like one of those gym mats that you lay down and do crunch ups on. Literally like one of those. It's like 2 inches thick. So naturally, all the dairy shit would be cold as fuck because the freezer's right there, by that tiny partition. Yeah. So if you spilt anything in the dairy cooler, it instantly froze on the floor. And I spilt an entire thing of like cottage cheese on the floor, and it instantly froze on the floor. And for like a month, you couldn't get it off because it was frozen. So it was just a slick white spot of fucking cottage cheese, and it was awful. It just made it terrible. People are like, "Who spilt it?" I'm like, I don't know. I still never admitted to that because I didn't clean it. I just left it there because it was like it immediately froze. I couldn't get it up. I tried because the way the floor was, it was like indented with like little cracks and shit. Yeah. So whatever went down in the cracks are not getting out. And
unless you're getting out of your hands with a scrub brush,
pretty much. Yeah, I wasn't doing that. So
so this one is so I worked at the Radisson Hotel, the one with the spinny restaurant on top.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever work there, Austin?
No, but last time I went there, they were like, the servers were like so apologetic on how terrible their kitchen staff was, or like not terrible, but like how low it was and why everything is like bad and slow.
Yeah. Well, I didn't work up there. I worked for food and beverage, which the manager of food and beverage at the time, he was in charge of banquet events. So not a lot of people know this, but at the bottom of the Radisson, they got like 4 or 5 conference room halls. A lot of people would have weddings there. Like we had big rooms that people could rent out for events, no matter what it would be. Seminars, work things. What was that?
Boxing events.
Yeah, there's a boxing event there one time. And so I was the, I don't even know what my official title was anymore. I think they called it a banquet houseman, I think is what my name was. And so what I would do is I would set up the event. So it's like, oh, we're having a wedding with 140 people. My boss would draw up the floor plan of like, because we had like storage of round tables and chairs, and it was a lot of heavy physical labor. It was just me. So what I would do is I would set up the rooms. We had the kitchen staff or whatever, like the ladies that did all the cups and the stuff, they would do all the tablecloths usually. Sometimes I would do it. But I'd roll, these heavy ass round tables out, set up 12 chairs at a time at them, for like 140 people. It takes a long time to do it all by yourself. And then at the end of like, after the event, my next shift or whatever, I would come in and I would clean up said things. So usually they'd always take the dishware. I would take all the linen off, but then I'd have to restack the chairs, take the round tables, move it, or if it worked out, adjust it for similar events that we have booked next for that room. And so I'd vacuum the whole room. It fucking sucked, dude. It was a lot of work. Sometimes I would sub in up at the restaurant as a host if I needed to, because they, again, as you just said, they're always understaffed there. The kitchen staff is horrible and they don't pay enough, and they're not treated well either. And they go through there's a lot of times bad management there. I know they renamed the restaurant now, but a cool restaurant though, like that the top spins and everything. It's like a really cool thing. But that whole hotel, dude, kind of needs a renovation in my opinion. Like it's just not in good shape. And here's why. You remember when they were tearing up all Superior Street?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When they were tearing up Superior Street is when I started working there, or about 6 months into when I started working there, when they started tearing it up in front, which was this big road in front of it. So like literally tearing the whole thing out and redoing all the pipes and everything. Well, it wasn't just our hotel, but a lot of other small businesses on the sides of the road, or on that road, were having insect problems, things coming out from the pipes and shit because of the road being torn up. So we started getting
gross.
Yeah, dude. So we started getting fucking cockroaches in, because all of the banquet event rooms are all on the bottom ass floor, connect to that Bowery bar. They're not up in the top. So they never had problems with cockroaches in the hotel. They had problems in our banquet area though, and we have like a kitchen down there and stuff, for the banquet events. There's a kitchen upstairs and downstairs. And so like you'd see the occasional one here and there. When I'd clean the room, I'd find one dead or whatever. They would die because they've had the room sprayed, So one day we're hosting a wedding, and it's probably one of the biggest weddings we've had there. They rented out 2 big ass rooms. We had 2 of those rollout bars, bartenders. It was busy. They had 3-course meal. It was all going on. And usually I would work during the events sometimes because they need extra hands. So just like I'd be a bar back. I would, if they ever needed, we need chairs over here. Can you get us some extra chair? Anything. I was kind of just like a helper out dude, anything for the bride and groom, right? And then comes the story of the cockroach that walked into the wedding and the bride saw it.
That's not good.
Yeah, dude. She screamed so loud. Like I literally watched it happen. I was bar backing, and then I see this little dude, this little cockroach, right through the door, goes right into the middle area where they're dancing. Yeah, he goes. He might have had a little top hat on. Oh, yeah, he was enjoying the wedding. Yeah,
hello, man. Yeah.
And dude, immediately before I could even get from behind the bar to go grab it with like a napkin, she goes, ah! A bunch of people scream cockroach, and then some dude at the wedding just grabs it like himself, like immediately was on it. And my boss never felt so embarrassed. Like we had to comp them for a bunch of shit, obviously. Like they were pissed, which I understood and understandably.
Yeah.
And that was a bad night because everything was going so well up into that, and then after that, it was like vibes were bad all around. So I just thought that like it was kind of funny though, the story of that, like the cockroach walked into the wedding, like literally mid-wedding when everybody's dancing after they've already done the ceremony. It was bad.
That's gross.
It was gross.
Yeah, I know. I would have got comped and
I got 2 from the same place.
Yeah.
One was just like you're an asshole, and one was just like kind of embarrassing.
Yeah.
So at Kitchigami Club, I served there, and it was a table of 14. I'm not going to say the name, but the person who hosted it was a CEO of a national bank.
Okay.
Very wealthy.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a nice place, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of millionaires and billionaires eat there. And I was serving them. I set it all up. Like you said, I didn't set up for 140. I just set up for 14. But it is a tedious task, And I only had like 40 minutes to prepare. Set it all up. They come in. I get them all their drinks. I take all their orders. I deliver all their orders fine. Perfect. Didn't fuck a thing up. But, as a respectable place, where people are paying thousands of dollars just to get the chance to spend more hundreds of dollars to eat there.
Yeah.
They expect the best. And I was a good server. A lot of my tables liked me. But they got this big private room with 14 people. They were having a business meeting for a national bank. So I'm about to walk in there to collect their empty plates, because rich people want their fucking empty plates away from them. They won't just push them in the middle or work around them. So I'm about to go in there to get rid of their empty plates. But I kind of overhear a $5 billion acquisition. And I'm like, as a pedestrian, I probably shouldn't just walk in here right now.
Yeah.
So I walk away for 5 minutes. And then I come back. And then I pick up all the plates. And then they continue the meeting for another 40 minutes. And then I wait for everyone to leave to pick up all the water cups or whatever they didn't drink.
Yeah.
when I go in to pick up all the water cups, that CEO of the National Bank is standing in a fucking corner waiting for me to come back in. And as soon as I come back in, he goes, Austin, I need to talk to you. I was like, yeah, what's up, sir? Or, well, I'll say Mr. Blah, 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 but I'm not going to say that.
Yeah.
And he goes, you took way too long to get rid of the empty plates. And I straight up told him, like, I'm sorry. I'm going to be completely honest with you. As soon as I was about to walk in, I heard about a $5 billion acquisition. I didn't hear what company it was for. I just walked away. I felt like it wasn't my place. And he goes, that's no excuse. You should have your discretion as a server and just come in and take the plates. We will stop the meeting if you enter. And I'm like,
what a dick.
Yeah, dude.
Fuck. So he says, this is why I'm giving you a $0 tip.
Wow.
Well, right there. Just kidding. No, fuck that guy.
Dude.
Yeah, dude, fuck him.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, asshole.
Off podcast, I will tell you exactly that motherfucker. I don't need that out there.
You want to know what that reminds me of? Those are entitled people. So when that restaurant at the top of Radisson, it used to be called JJ Astor, and it was supposed to be a fancier restaurant, right? It was supposed to be higher class. Like we were supposed to, clear plates, be nice. Like they had to teach us the whole thing of like fine dining serving. And dude, I would get some guys there that were just so blatantly like talk down to you. They have they have fuck you money. They have fuck you money. They can do whatever they want, say what they want to say. And there was a couple times where I like literally was like, I told my boss, like, I don't want to go up there and fill in anymore. Like I'm sick of filling. They need to hire people because like I just can't stand the type of people that fucking go there. Like sometimes it was nice families or whatever. But like
it's like Blueface on that private jet where he got that lady fired because she didn't comb her hair, but her hair looked fine. It's like, Blueface, you came from the ghetto with rats and roaches.
Yeah.
Like, who are you to talk down to people, you fuck? Like, it's just crazy, man. I hope I think maybe it was Robin Williams that said it. Might have not have been him, but he said when people get money, they've got that period of about 2 years where they become an asshole. And he said if they don't grow out of it within 2 years, they never will. And I wonder if I'll become an asshole with money. I feel like I could.
I don't want to win the lottery.
I wouldn't
tell anybody. I just move.
When I was at Banquet Houseman, I'd very, very rarely get tips because they're not tipping the guy that sets it up really ever. I mean, if I was there present during the event, maybe sometimes, but I do remember this one time there was a very higher up at 3M. Like, they make everything.
The masks and shit.
Yeah. And they had a conference there and he's like, oh, did you set this all up? Like when I was like taking it down, like I was waiting for them to leave. And I was like, oh yeah, I set up the room and then I'll clean it and everything. He's like, well, you set it up really good. And like all the audio and the visual, cause I had to do like AV equipment stuff too. Like I had to like hook into the mixer on the wall and like get their shit to work that they'd bring in. And he was like, you did a really good job, man. Here you go. And he gave me a $250 cash tip. And I was like, fucking thanks, dude.
That's
like
sick.
I've never,
the biggest tip you've gotten?
No, I've gotten a bigger one when I was delivering pizzas one time.
How much?
Damn.
Yeah.
I got a $400 tip when I delivered pizzas to the Edge Water Park.
Yeah,
that's
I remember
an
you
interesting
said that.
story. Yeah, it was really like off guard. They ordered I was delivering for Papa John's, and whenever we got deliveries to either the universities or the Edge Water Park, no driver would take them because that's on the way outer edge of the delivery range. So think about it. Papa John's is at Central Entrance. If you go to UMD or Scholastica, they never tip you. College kids don't tip. They don't tip.
It's like a solid 20, 25 minute drive.
Yeah. And then the Edge Water Park's like a half hour almost, And so I get this delivery to the Edge Water Park and it's like 24 large pizzas, all single topping. It's like 6 2-liters and like probably 4 or 5 sides, like the dessert boxes or like whether it be breadsticks. So I'm a baller. I roll up in the Subaru. It's the middle of winter. I'm driving there. I have everything. I get to the room. I have all the pizzas in the sides, and I have the 3 2-liters in each arm. And I go into, I have somebody open the elevator for me. I go up there in one shot. I knock on the door on the room. No answer, but I hear a bunch of kids screaming on the inside, like, like having a good time, like not like screaming in a bad way. And then I knock again, and eventually this guy answers who looks like a dad, and he's just like, you could just tell, like he just. And I look behind him. I look behind him, and there's probably like 15 to 16 little girls in there and a few other adults. And it was like his daughter's birthday party. And this guy just looked like a normal average Joe because, he was at a fucking water park. He's not probably going to be dressed the best, just in like shorts and t-shirt. And he's like, he's like, come out in the hallway and then we'll exchange. And he's like, you can just set them all on the ground because like I don't expect you to bring it all in there and try to get it in there. I'm like, oh, thanks, man. So I set it all down. And he's like, oh, it was a busy night tonight. I'm like, yeah, it's pretty steady. And he's like, well, thanks for driving all the way out here. I saw where you guys are, and I was surprised you deliver here. He's like, you guys are even in the brochure here, and I thought that was kind of far. I'm like, yeah. He's like, I used to deliver pizzas when I was your age. It was tough. He's like, you brought this all here in one run? He's like, you know what, man? He's like, I hope you have a good night. And it wasn't a cash tip, but I didn't even look at the slip until I'm like walking away. Give me a fucking $400 tip on like,
damn, bro,
what was probably about the same amount in pizza and sides and everything that he ended up getting.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, Jesus
That's
Christ.
Crazy.
And like, I turned around and I said like, thank you so much. Like, I was like, are you sure? Like, this is not 40. He's like, no, it's 400. He's like, you have a good night, man. He's like, I know what it's like. It struggle's real. Like, damn, no, dude, thanks.
Yeah, no, if I'm at a restaurant and this is a little quick date tip too, if you're on a first date or something, you know what you do? I do this every time. I go like, do y'all tip out your dishwasher? 99% they say, no, we don't tip our dishwasher. And I'm like, here's a 5 for you. Go give the 5 to the dishwasher too. Bitches, they've got them right there. They're like, oh, you're so nice. I'm like, yeah, I used to dishwash. I didn't get tipped out. So yeah, I'm going to give them
or they
money.
Just pocket it or they don't give it to them.
They probably do, honestly.
Yeah, they probably.
Servers at tavern would do that. So
yeah. A lot of servers are assholes. But I wanted to say, the one cool thing about working at Kitchigami was like, there's obviously the asshole rich people, but there was also like the family rich people that like just
are really nice.
Yeah, and like they would just be like
humble.
Oh my god, I haven't had you as our server yet because I only worked there for like 4 months.
Yeah,
and I'll be like, oh yeah, my name's Austin.
They
like,
just go there regularly. Because you have to be like a member, right?
It's like they have to pay like thousands of dollars a month.
No to just shit. Even I never heard of this. Yeah. It makes sense.
It's in Duluth, yeah.
Too rich for my blood.
They're like wealthy, and I think they really loved how just fucking real I was with them. Like I wasn't trying to fucking prep it up like all the other servers, and I got yelled at by management a couple times because like tables would just want to talk to me, and I'd be like, yo, can I just pull up a chair? And they'll be like, yeah, and I'll just pull up a chair and I'll just sit down with them and be like, yeah, so I'm Austin, what are you guys up to? Yeah. Like, oh, we're doing this, and we just like chat for like 30 minutes, and then the manager would like walk through the hallway and be like, Austin, what the fuck are you doing? And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I gotta go, guys. And then it'd be like, you can't do that. I'm like, ask them if they had a bad experience.
Yeah,
and they would always be
for
like,
real.
Any of them ever defend you?
Oh, every member defended me.
Yeah.
Nice, nice.
You know who was like my hardest ride or die who like I didn't really care for, but like was fun to bullshit with?
Who?
Pete Stauber.
Oh,
the
no
cop?
shit.
Yeah.
No, yep. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I used to be cop at my school, yeah.
Yeah, that he was like running for
I got a picture with him when I
Senate or something. I don't know.
Yeah, he was running for something. Yeah.
Yeah, and
or was it his brother that's running for it?
It was his brother.
Paul.
It was his brother.
Brother's Paul.
It might have been his brother, but he like was my ride or die. He'd be like, dude, I need Austin to be my fucking server. And I didn't even really care for his politics, but like he just would bullshit with me, so it was cool.
Yeah. He was a chill cop if you were good. If you're a good
I
kid.
remember,
yeah.
Dude, I got a good Pete Stauber. I told on the story, I'll tell it quick. I was outside vaping in my friend's car outside of school. Like we just didn't give a fuck. And I had the window down, and he just slams his hand, caught me off guard on top of the hood so loud that it reverbed the car. It's like, whoa. And I'm like, oh, when he looks at me, he just says, give me the vape. And I hand him the vape, and he just walks away. Doesn't give me a ticket, doesn't make me write anything. Yeah. We drive off and go buy a vape that day. So that's pretty cool. So shout out to him. That's the one time. Yeah. Totally good experience.
He eventually caught me. I was parking in the East lot and the teacher's lot the whole year without a pass. And he eventually caught me one time. I'm like, oh, you finally got me. Because I told him about it. He's like, yep. He's like, you park there, you'll get a ticket if you don't have a fucking hang tag, which I think is the dumbest fucking thing.
Oh, dude, you're going to charge the kids to park? Oh, that's another funny Pete Stauber story. He was writing tickets in the lot, and somebody told me, because it was just like, when they wrote tickets, it was nice. Probably when you weren't there, Paul, but everyone had a Snapchat, like a group thing. Yeah. So if you posted to that area, it just pop up there, so I'd be constantly checking. They're doing tickets. I run out to my car, and he's like 2 car lengths away from mine. I just get in and peel off and go home like 4 hours earlier. I'm like, yeah, I'm like, I know. And he just looks at me as I get in my car.
It's like a $21 ticket. Yeah.
Yeah, it is a $21 ticket. Fucking bullshit.
Speaking of the Get Your Gammy Club, I've never been there, but I will be going there for the first time next fall because my girlfriend's sister is actually getting married there, and the her soon-to-be husband's side has a lot of his mom's a member there.
A gold digger.
If I'm not invited, I bet I can serve it. They like me there.
Yeah.
Nice.
What did you just end up leaving Get Your Gammy Club? Just sick of it?
I was sick of the fucking rich assholes.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of them were cool, but like the other half were just not fucking cool.
Yeah.
And the management was fucking terrible.
Did you at least get good tips?
No.
Oh, that sucks.
Why don't rich people tip?
Maybe it's because they're rich.
You don't stay rich by giving away your money.
Right? You know? That's like, I always think about like the typical rich, asshole, but it's like, man, they got to be an asshole to get there. You kind of have to, because like, I mean, they have that trait, like lack of empathy, especially if you're like a psychopath, like they just don't care. So it's how you get to the top, man. But
that's what I've been thinking about is like when I move back up north, I do want to get a second job just to like pay off loans and just have more money. But like also I've been thinking of like, why would I do that when I can start my own business? And I kind of need to push myself into that mindset and just do it. Like I can't be, what I keep getting caught up on is like, I need a logo. I need this, I need that. Really, all I need is an LLC and I'm set. Once I have an LLC, like then I can go do computer related things and like at least have some barrier between me getting sued. But I just want to do like IT on the side, I think, just because like that's what I know how to do. I also could just go get a job at Walmart or as a greeter or do something somewhere for money on the side. But I'd rather do something where I get a little bit, it's something I enjoy. A greeter?
What are you, high? You're like fucking about 80 years too young
like,
to do
I
that
kind of
shit.
what I meant to say was like a bartender or serving. And it's like, I don't really want to do that though. Like, I don't want to work in food again. That's just me. If I had... For the perfect world, I'd own a pizzeria. That'd be fucking sick.
I will say serving is something you can walk into. Bartending, it takes a little more.
It does.
Well, I had my bartending license in Minnesota. I was going to be a bartender at the Marcus Theater, and then the position got filled. But I had the card. I didn't pass all the tests. I was licensed in Minnesota to be a bartender.
Oh, you took like a class?
Yeah, I took a class and got the card too.
There's a class?
Yeah, you don't need it.
There are.
You don't need it, but it's preferred, and I had it to serve on-premise and off-premise alcohol, which means like I could also like I knew what I was doing if I worked at like say a liquor store.
Yeah, many moons ago you said you wanted to go, or you're gonna go to the Flame or something.
Oh, I'm going to the Flame Saturday.
Yeah, and so like Flame bartenders, they either have been bartending for 10 years or they got their bartending license. Like that's the gap. It's like you either get all the experience or you do the classes, and I'm going for the experience right now.
I think that's always
because I can just make money doing that.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, no, for sure.
I don't remember it being super expensive.
I don't think it's very expensive, but it's like I also hate school.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
One last one for you, not food service related, but the movie theater. I haven't told this one, Jack. So rest in peace to our good friend Ryan, but he was there when this happened. He was the one that interacted. I hated working box office. I hated selling tickets. That was the worst one.
It
was worse than concessions, way worse than ushering. But sitting up there and selling people tickets, ushering was the best. Yep. But yeah, selling tickets and whatever just sucked. And I got a shift there one time, and I would try to avoid it like the play getting scheduled there. But Ryan's like, I need you to fill in here. I'm like, okay. So I'm there. And we all have walkies. Like there's a walkie up front. The manager has walkie. There's a walkie in concessions for like communicating across the entire movie theater in case something's going down or they need help somewhere or something. And this guy comes in, and I didn't see it at first, but this guy comes in and he's got a leather vest on. It's the middle of winter with circles cut out. His nipples are showing. There are families around. It is like a Thursday night, or it's $5 Tuesday.
I know this guy.
Yeah, well, hold on.
Personal friend of mine. No.
He had short, slick back hair, and I looked down, and there is a man on a leash and a spiked collar with a gag ball in his mouth. He has no shirt on. He's got skin tight leather pants on and like a furry tail. And he's like talking to him like a pet. He's like, I need 2 tickets. And before he could even like get up, I already had walkied. I was like, Ryan, because he's the assistant manager, and he was on call. I'm like, you need to come see if this guy needs to leave, because there are like families around. There are children. It's like $5 Tuesday. It's fucking packed. There's a line. There's a dude with a fucking gag ball in his mouth. He's spanking the dude because he's not behaving, I guess. He's treating him like a dog, dude. And they both had piercings everywhere. They were so like emo and just sexual and gross bondage.
The word is gross you're looking for.
Yeah, gross as fuck. Ryan comes up and he's like trying not to bust, and he goes, you guys need to leave. Like, you need to get out of here. And they're like, why? Why are you kicking us out? Is it because we're showing our sexuality? He's like, yeah, that's exactly why. He's like, what you're wearing is inappropriate, and there are family and children's here. You need to leave right now, or I'm going to call security from the deck, because the deck security would sometimes monitor there, or we call the cops. And they immediately were like, oh, like they were scoffing and making a big scene and yelling. The dude's on all four. The dude, the gag ball, can't say anything. He's like, oh, like, and he's like dragging
like the Captain Pulp Fiction when he's trying to scream. Oh my God.
And he's dragging him by the leash out the fucking door, this dude on the leash. And I was just like perplexed at what just happened. And like all these families and everybody were just like everybody was just like, all right, next person, like tickets,
dude. Like legitimately, when you started talking about him as a joke, I was like, I might know them, but I go to the main kink night every once in a while, and I swear to God, the same people are there, because once you describe like the slick back hair and then he's on a leash with the ball gag, I'm like, oh, I've seen those ball gag people a couple times there for sure, and that's like fine there because it's what it's meant to be. But yeah, no, they're local. I've definitely seen it. That's kink night. It's fine.
Yeah. Who goes to $5 movie Tuesday night?
Fucked up. That's fucked up.
I'm not saying it's gross, because like
in public,
if that's what they're into, want to do, it's fine. That is insane. That is bold. That is psychotic to do in fucking public.
I don't care. I've been with people that like to be on leashes, and like that's whatever. Like I'll do it.
It's not
like
gross.
Not in public. We're not doing it.
You're
in public.
not doing it in public.
Paul's not having it. Yeah, I'm not.
It's fucking crazy if you're doing it in public.
At that not fest,
in your mind.
At that not
what
fest,
do you think other people want?
Sorry. That not fest behind me, I saw the hottest thing I've ever seen. No, it wasn't not. I saw a girl in a plague doctor mask, like one of those big long nose things. That's all she was wearing except for panties. Tits are out, and she was on a leash. A full-grown bearded man, like burly, like a 260-pound, like jack.
He was
dude,
on the leash, or she
on all fours. He was on the leash, on all fours, crawling around as she walked around with this plague doctor mask with her tits out. And I go to my friend, and I'm like, "You see this? You see this?" And she like went away before he could see it, and everyone thought I was like crazy. I'm like, "No, I saw. Did you see her?" It was a dominatrix, but that was I guess it's fine at a concert too, maybe. But yeah, no, that was pretty
plague
weird.
Doctor mask alone would have been sick. Don't need the bearded man.
No, on the leash. No, that was a huge turn off.
Plague doctor,
it was on the grass. It's like fucking 80 degrees out there in Iowa, and he's on the grass crawling around, and it's like, dude, this is fucking crazy. Yeah. So keep your sexual things to the bedroom, please, folks. I don't know. No one wants to see that shit. That's fucking foul.
I mean, yeah, that's why a lot of people hate a lot of other sexualities that aren't straight, is because you're making it public.
That's the problem with it. Stop.
I don't give a shit what you do behind closed doors.
Stop children drag story hour, you fucks. I'm so sick of it. I can't defend it anymore. I just can't. Stop having children around drag events. It's fucking nuts to me. It's crazy. And then I say it, I'm the fucking piece of shit. It's bad, dude. It's really, really bad. I'm sorry. And we got to say this one before we end the cast, too. Stop giving gender affirming care to people under 18. That should be wrong, and you should be in jail if you do that. And I'll get some flack for that. I can already see people text me now. Like, you said this. If you're under 18, you can't consent to hormones. It's the way it's going to be. I'm sorry. You can't. Someone gave me hormones at 15? No. That's fucked up.
So are your friends on the same page as you, Jack?
I'm an ass. I don't want to know, because I know I'm trudging in the deep waters. I wore that Trump shirt. A good majority of them were like, that's a good meme because they get satire. The other two, I think, are legitimately still kind of mad at me because I don't know if you saw Austin. I wore a Trump shirt as a satire, but also I'm serious. MAGA 2024. But no, it's crazy. But my stance on it is I'm not going to discuss it because I don't want to get into a fight if it would cause it. But if you're the type of person where wearing a political shirt is gonna make you hate me, then I don't want to be around you anyway. You know what I mean? It's like not worth my time. For satirical purposes, but yeah, I don't know if they think that way. I'm not gonna ask, and maybe I'll get asked after this podcast because I know those fuckers watch it. So
do they? Okay, well, that's
yeah,
good.
one just
shout
watched
out to those
the
guys and
they.
gals.
I think shout out Spencer. He just watched the Goldface episode because I told him to watch that. They commented something, so I told him to want to watch the fucked up rapper. Yeah. But no, I don't want to get into that. One of these days, I'm gonna break down all the problems with the gay community. I have like lists written of like things I gotta go
Yes,
into.
please
but
do this next cast.
That's an hour cast. Yeah, no, I will. Not this cast. Yeah, no, I got you.
Maybe not with our brother either. Maybe just save it for a rainy day.
Save it for a rainy day. Okay.
Yeah,
I'll bust it out.
Do you guys want to call it a show?
Yeah, we can call it a show. I was thinking that anyway.
Austin, is there anything you wanted to say, lay down? Do you have any Twitter handles, Instagram handles, anything you want to spout? Anything also, too, if you want me to put in the description, social medias, whatever, just send it to me. But other than that, anything you wanted to say before we sign off?
I don't have much of an online presence.
Hey, respect. Shout out Austin for coming on. Thanks for coming on, man. We really appreciate having you here. It was a good chat. Honestly, this is the first time we've went 2 hours in a long time. That usually doesn't happen. That just means we're having a great conversation. So thanks so much for coming on, man. Really, really enjoyed having you.
Hell yeah, I enjoyed it.
Hell yeah.
I'll take this before Paul does. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment. Want to get on Gutterball? Let us know for real. We have guests coming. We're gonna try to get one weekly now, so y'all don't have to sit with the boring asses. We got someone to spice it up a little bit. And then I think that's it. That's all I got. Goldface is coming on at some point, so get excited for that. Get hyped up. That's all I got. I'll let Paul take it.
We're trying to book more guests. Please, if you are a listener and you think you have any little bit of sense for a conversation and can converse with us, you have a camera, you have a microphone, you just have a laptop, come on the show. Let us know. You can email us at gutterballbusiness@gmail.com. We do check it, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Other than that, you can hit us up on any of our socials. Our link tree's in the description below for all of our contact info. Go ahead, Jackson.
Instagram. I should say that from now on. Instagram. Hit us up on Instagram. That's the best way to reach us. The fastest I'll respond is Instagram.
Sweet.
So
also, for that shout out, these beautiful people are super easy to talk to. I highly recommend it.
Hell yeah. You heard it here, folks. That is Gutterball 83. Have a great weekend. Whoa!